Don't just watch it, be part of it with DraftKings. And right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the app and use the promo code when you sign up.
Total Power doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. And it begins with a network as powerful as you. With Total Wireless, you have the power with unlimited 5G wireless with no contract and no caps. Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy on us. When you have Total Power, there's no slowing you down. Switch to Total Wireless. That's a Total Power move.
Guys, the investors pulled our funding.
What?
I just bought a jet ski.
What do we do?
I guess I'll just start running a cash burn analysis.
I'd go tumblers.
Like acrobats?
No, custom branded tumblers from Custom Ink. More water, more productivity, more funding. That's our strategy.
Custom Ink can't fix all your business needs.
I am thirsty.
I want one of those.
I want one too.
But we can outfit your team for the road ahead. With over 10,000 swag options, Ink is more than you think.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe.
Yikes.
But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, wet extra large dude wipes. See how wet dude wipes completely clears while dry TP smears, leaving debris behind on Uranus. Ditch the itch and switch to wet extra large dude wipes for the best clean, pants down.
We need to increase female market share. Women just want to feel heard, right?
I think they want to be heard.
Alex, I'm in the middle of an idea, but it's so good to have you in the room.
There you go. You hurt? You want a pill?
Women are in charge here.
What are you doing in my office?
Where the hell am I?
That's my girl.
He wants to sit at the big girls' table.
Take me back! Ah!
Welcome back inside the Dome in Los Angeles. Elle Duncan alongside Ariel Helwani, Tyron Woodley. I gotta be honest, DJ Evie just played Bone Crusher, Never Scared, and I could probably go in the cage right now if you asked me to. I mean, I would get my butt whooped, but alas. Luckily, it will not be me. It will be Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, but they're not the only matchup tonight, featuring two fighters that are returning back to this stage. Let's talk a little Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. Two, you could say, I suppose, cult anti-heroes, fan favorites. But for those that don't know at home, what's the Nate Diaz like? What's the experience of him?
For you guys that don't know, some of you new fans are going to be millions of you. Welcome to the show, first off. Second off, Nate Diaz, he's known for being unapologetic. He's very authentic. He's very real. He don't say much, but if he says something, it becomes memeable. But he low-key is a 360 experience. The NDA Nick Diaz Academy Gym, giving homage to his brother. He said, come through. You want to train? You want to scrap? Sign the NDA, come through. Spirits, promotion companies. He understands this platform is going to project him. And he's here, he's lean. This is the best we've seen him in a long time, body-wise. And I know he's ready to scrap.
Apart from Diaz and Perry, we'll also see the heavyweights in action before them. Francis Ngannou will be taking on Philippe Lenz. What's their mindset, Ariel, before they take the cage tonight?
Well, this is a fascinating fight because, in my opinion, Francis Ngannou has the most to lose on this main card because he is the lineal MMA heavyweight champion. He left the UFC without losing his belt. He was undefeated in that one fight in PFL. And so everyone expects him, because he's the top dog, to just roll right through Lenz. Lenz, let's be honest, has never been on a stage like this before. He's never fought someone like Francis. Lenz's life and career changes tonight with a massive upset. Francis is expected to win, and so there's pressure that comes with that, right? And so it's very interesting to see the juxtaposition of the guy trying to upset the world and upset his opponent, and the guy who's expected to knock out his opponent in the very first round. Really interesting.
You nailed it. Ngannou, out of all of the fights on our card tonight, is by far the heavy favorite to win this one. And maybe it's because he still holds the Guinness World Record for hardest punch. And you know who's been on the other side of that punch? Two-time heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez, who's standing by with our Sibley Skulls.
Thank you so much, Elle. I am here, Hexagon side, with the legend, Cain Velasquez. Listen, this is a historic night for MMA. You have been here this week. We saw you yesterday, emotional at the weigh-ins when Francis Ngannou, he'll be getting in there as well. How does this feel for you and the evolution of the sport?
It's crazy. I never thought in my whole time of being in the MMA scene that a show could look like this, can have this type of energy, can have this type of just persona, whether it's the weigh-ins, whether it's a fight tonight, it's just the magnitude that comes with it, along with it, is very big. It's something that I never really thought would happen. You know, it makes everything just very magical. It does.
And it's an absolutely stacked card with other legends out there that we get to see. The fans are going to be so excited about it. I have to talk to you about a familiar face, not just Francis. Who else is on the card is Junior Dos Santos, someone that you're familiar with. He's taking on someone that you never know, to Spain. It could go down in there. How do you feel about that matchup?
So, I have a lot of feelings for Junior Dos Santos. I know what kind of man he is. I respect him in all the ways of what he's done in this sport, that he's still doing it. He's still doing it at the highest level, that he still loves to be in that grind, be in that fight. I wish the best for him forever. Everything that he does. He's got a tough fight tonight. He does.
He does.
But he's here. He's going to swing him. It's going to be exciting. I don't see it going very long, but we never know. But both guys have the opportunity to do something big tonight and just showcase their skills. But again, a lot of respect for what he's doing.
Kane, thank you so much. Have fun tonight. Let's go over to the guys who are calling the matches.
Thank you very much, Sibley, alongside former three-time UFC title challenger Kenny Florian. I'm Mauro Ranallo, and Kenny, the heavyweights are a huge part of this landmark event. We're going to see two former UFC heavyweight champions in action, including the reigning lineal champion, the hardest puncher in MMA history, Francis Ngannou, clashing with the upset-minded Felipe Lins.
Yeah, it doesn't get more elite than Francis Ngannou, and it doesn't get any scarier either. This is one of the most destructive and terrifying finishers in mixed martial arts heavyweight history. I can't wait to see him. The first time I'm calling a fight, and again, beware of the man with nothing to lose. That man is Felipe Lins. Obviously, Ngannou is a massive favorite, but this is a fight and a win that can change his career forever.
He is a former UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou, and we kick things off with another former UFC heavyweight champion at the peak of his powers, had a UFC record 9-fight win streak in the heavyweight division. Junior Dos Santos duels with Cuba's Robelis Despain. And you look at the numbers, and it's Despain, the Cuban, who is 3 inches taller, has a 7-inch reach advantage. His reach is longer than a CVS receipt, and Dos Santos is going to have to try to navigate the physical dimensions of Despain, and if Dos Santos lands the target, he can finish a fight with just one punch.
Yeah, no question about it. You have the Taekwondo bronze medalist, Robelis Despain. And again, doesn't have a whole lot of fights, but you look at all of his wins are by finish, and you look at 16 finishes for Junior Dos Santos, the former UFC heavyweight champion. I don't see this one going to decision. Someone is going to get finished in this matchup.
All right, here is our rules expert and unofficial scorer, Sean Wheelock.
This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. There is no kicking or kneeing the head of a grounded opponent. Strikes to the spine, back of the head, and groin are all illegal, and a fighter cannot legally grab the fence with their fingers or toes.
Junior Dos Santos, Robelis Despain, making history. The first MMA fight ever to air live on Netflix. Give us the 411 on the Cuban.
Well, this guy can end the fight in a blink, and yes, he's going to try to utilize that reach. But you see, he comes from that Taekwondo background, going to be very fast on his feet. Got the bronze medal in the 2012 Olympics in London. All 5 MMA wins via first round knockout. Don't blink.
Moving the headset, moving the headset.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you all tuning in around the world on Netflix, and we welcome all of you here tonight in Los Angeles. Tonight, the debut of MVP MMA as mixed martial arts comes to Netflix for the very first time with a triple headline main event, of course culminating with Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. But before we get to our triple main event, we first open in the heavyweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first to the Hexagon, fighting out of the red corner, here is Robelis Despain.
The 37-year-old bad boy, Robelis Despain, a former Olympic Taekwondo bronze medalist. He looks like a heavyweight created in a laboratory. Massive size, freak athleticism, and of course that Olympic level striking precision. After losing passion for Taekwondo in his native Cuba, he turned toward mixed martial arts. And Kenny, he discovered his explosive style translated beautifully to violence. The danger, Despain can change a fight in the blink of an eye, sometimes literally.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, in Taekwondo, footwork is a huge component to success, and he's utilizing that very same footwork here in mixed martial arts. But more than anything else, he also understood that he needs to work on his grappling. He's been working that very heavily as of late.
We mentioned his ridiculous 87-inch wingspan, which was the longest ever in UFC history. How does he maximize that reach advantage tonight?
Well, he's got to keep Junior Dos Santos on the outside. Long-range strikes for Robelis is going to be the key. What are those strikes? The jab, those kicks to the body down the middle. And he's got to lead Junior Dos Santos into some traps.
It's a cliche when I say don't blink, but when it comes to Despain fights, you might want to take that advice. He has 18-second wins, 4-second wins, 3-second wins, 12-second wins. This guy fights like he's double parked.
I do not do simple meaning.
All right, let's go into his opponent, Junior Dos Santos, the former UFC heavyweight champion. Also owns the most knockdowns in UFC heavyweight history. He's got hammers for hands. Also had the longest winning streak in UFC heavyweight history as well. Has become a great kicker over the years as well. So not just a threat with his hands, Mauro.
And now his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, the former world champion, Junior Dos Santos.
Arguably the best smile in MMA, a man who loves every single second of his fighting life. And yeah, he wants to pull off the Rocky moment. He's heard the whispers. He's heard that he has passed his peak. And yeah, maybe he's past the peak of his powers. But you know what they say, power is the last to go. 16 of his 23 wins have come by knockout. He was known as an elite level boxer. Speed, precision, clean combinations, timing, and that KO power. And oh, by the way, let's not forget, as you alluded to, those crushing low kicks. The key issue, though, can JDS survive the explosive early attacks at this stage of his career?
You know, well, his chin may not be what it used to be when he was in his prime, but he still has speed and he still has power. And he's not naive to this matchup. He knows what the matchmakers want here. They wanted a striking extravaganza. He's got one, and Robelis Despain.
One of 3 children, he was raised by his mother Maria after his alcoholic father left the family in the mid-90s. When he was just 10 years of age, Dos Santos was already working to help support the household, a hardship that has forged the resilience and work ethic that later carried him to the top of the heavyweight division.
Coming into this fight in phenomenal shape. This is the leanest and biggest I've seen him in a long time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California, and live around the world on Netflix, the sport of mixed martial arts arrives to Netflix for the very first time with the debut of MVP MMA, presented by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian's Most Valuable Promotions. We open tonight's main card in the heavyweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at cage side: Chris Lieben, Daniel Mobley, and Chris Crail. And our referee in charge, when the bell rings, is Frank Trigg. So, ladies and gentlemen, 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. He stands a towering 6 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 258.8 pounds. Tonight, he enters the hexagon with the professional mixed martial arts record of 5 victories, opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of Orlando, Florida, by way of Santiago de Cuba, Introducing the 2012 Olympic bronze medalist, the big boy, Robelis Despain. And now his opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. He weighed in at 245.4 pounds. Tonight, he enters the hexagon with a professional mixed martial arts record of 21 wins versus 10 defeats, with 15 of those wins by knockout. Fighting out of Santa Catarina, Brazil. Introducing the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Junior Cigano dos Santos.
All right, gentlemen, you got instructions in the locker room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Let's go back to your corners and come out swinging.
History being made for the first time, the sport of mixed martial arts live on Netflix, and we're about to immediately test the Big Bang Theory.
Thank you. Thank you. Am I good?
Intuit Dome in Inglewood, getting ready for the big boys to throw down. JDS, Robelis Despain, both of them looking to bring the pain and bring it fast.
You see Robelis with those hands very low. He's trying to lure Junior Dos Santos into a trap.
Already using the Taekwondo style kickings that won him the bronze medal. Not a sniper-like right hand there for Despain.
Has so much confidence in his speed.
Kick, the pushing low kick, one of the patented strikes of Dos Santos lands early.
That's what Dos Santos needs to do now, attacking the inside of the leg.
Like that Dutch combination there by Despain, and he's already rattled Dos Santos. Despain sitting down on those punches. You can see why he gets things done in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. Has a lot of confidence in that speed. Very loose with his punches.
Maximizing that reach advantage. The level change, looking for the single. He's shucked off by Despain, having nothing to do with Dos Santos' early takedown attempt. Are you surprised by JDS going to that one? And he's rattled Despain, and in comes JDS.
Dos Santos finding a lot of success with those leg kicks.
Crushing leg kick to the lead leg of Despain. Despain with a calf kick to Junior Dos Santos, spins him right around.
But Robelis needs to respect the power and speed of Junior Dos Santos. Those hands are very low. Can't get too cute against someone like Dos Santos.
22 of their combined 28 wins have come via knockout or submission, 21 of those via KO, and they are knockout searching early, both of them wanting to lower the boom.
Now it looks like Dos Santos is trying to draw out some punches from Robelis to try to look for a counter of his own.
Fingers.
Sniper jab there by Despain. Right hand lands, another right. Lands on the face of Dos Santos, who resets in the center of the hexagon.
Yeah, Despain with those hands way too low. Already has paid for it a couple times with the right hand of Dos Santos.
Dos Santos with the low kick, counter right, connects upstairs for Despain. Backing up, JD. Uppercut lands for Despain.
These are nasty shots from Despain.
And a left hand is another vicious shot. Hands are low for Despain, but he catches Junior Dos Santos with the uppercut. JDS is shelling up, trying to avoid the offense of Robelli's Despain.
Dos Santos doing a good job of circling away from that pressure, trying to regroup here.
Oh, wow. Left hand lands for Despain.
Continues to destroy that base of Despain.
And Despain really testing fate with the low hands, but he's successful there. Another right uppercut, but he is playing with fire.
Yeah, and Despain is so good at closing that gap so quickly, both with his footwork and the speed of those hands.
And the right my goodness! Goes JDS! A Cuban missile strike by Robelli's Despain! What a knockout!
That was nasty. Precision, speed, and patience from Despain. Gets it done.
What was I said about testing the Big Bang Theory? Despain ends it with a Big Bang. Dos Santos gets knocked out for the 9th time in his career. And Robelli's Despain delivering a message loud and clear to all heavyweights. You know he'll be watching that Francis Ngannou Felipe Lins fight.
I tell you what, Despain is a real problem on the feet. That range, that awkward approach to his striking, his ability to lure you into traps with those low hands. My goodness. And here we have Despain setting up that shot. Started with the left hook, he missed that, but it was the right hands that put Dos Santos down. Just right on the money. What a combination. Walks away casually as well, like it was just a matter of fact. Those right hands landed right on the button. Props to Dos Santos for showing a lot of heart there. What a performance from Despain.
A violent period at the end of a painful sentence. Robellis, the bad boy Despain, proves to be a bad man.
Netflix is shining the spotlight on MMA, and they are not holding back. A stacked card, big names, moments you won't stop talking about. And DraftKings is your home for all the action. Bet the winner, the method of victory, or even which round it all goes down. When the fight takes over Netflix, don't just watch it, be part of it with DraftKings. And right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the app and use the promo code when you sign up.
John Creasy, U.S. Army Special Forces.
What brings you to Rio?
Work.
Let me just be very clear. You're not gonna survive this.
Well, we missed that, but you didn't miss the knockout, and that's really what's most important. Robellis, the bad boy, Despain, is now 6-2. All 6 wins via knockout. And as we all know, knockouts sell. Let's go to Ariel Helwani.
Mauro, thank you very much. Robellis, congratulations on another first-round knockout. You just knocked out a former UFC heavyweight champion in your return to MMA. Can you describe the emotions that you are feeling right now?
Acabas de destrozar a un campeón de UFC. ¿Puedes contarnos cómo te sentís ahora?
Me siento muy contento, muy satisfecho por el trabajo que hice. Darle las gracias a mi equipo, mi entrenador de toda la vida, mi equipo allá en Orlando. Darle gracias a mi familia, a mi niña Joana, a mi mamá, Niuka, a mis hermanos, a toda Cuba que me apoya y Free Cuba.
I'm so happy for the work I've been doing so far to get me here. I want to thank my team, my forever coach, my family back in Cuba, my baby girl, my mom, Free Cuba, and thanks to my team back in Orlando too, Free Cuba.
Could you describe to us what you were seeing out there? It seemed like you rocked him sort of midway through the onslaught, and then eventually with that incredible strike, you were able to knock him out. Tell us what you saw and why you were able to eventually put him away.
Contanos qué fue lo que viste mientras tomabas tus decisiones de los golpes y cómo tomaste la decisión para el golpe final.
Sí, al principio me hizo buena técnica abajo y me desestabilizó 2 veces, pero bueno, supe tomar la calma y ver dónde estaba poniendo la cabeza, y eso fue lo que traté de ver siempre.
I saw him stumbling and he kicked me on the legs first, and then I kept calm, and then I saw him stumbling, and that's where I striked.
Rubeles, when you came into MMA, there was so much excitement about you, and you had that amazing run of first-round knockouts and then left the sport after losing 2 in a row, but had a great run very recently in karate combat. Is this your return to mixed martial arts? Do you now want to stay within this sport?
¿Te vas a quedar en este deporte ahora que volviste después de todo tu proceso para llegar hasta acá?
Este es el deporte que me gusta, amo las MMA, pero tengo que darle las gracias a Sim, a Karate Combat, porque gracias a ellos estoy aquí hoy. Darle unas gracias a Sim y gracias por su apoyo.
This is a sport I like, but I do have to thank Asim and Karate Combat to getting me here today.
Are you going to stick with MMA, though? Will your next fight be in MMA, or are you going to go back to karate combat?
¿Te vas a quedar en MMA o vas a volver a Karate Combat?
Quiero seguir haciendo las dos cosas, sí, es que me gusta siempre estar activo, no puedo estar sin entrenar, y entonces la próxima, Francis, let's do it.
I think I understood that, but I'll go to you.
I want to do both. I want to stick doing both. I cannot stay without training, so I'm going to do both.
And I do believe he said, Francis, I want you next. I understood that. And so Francis Ngannou and Felipe Lins are fighting later on tonight. Do you want the winner, Rubeles? And are you hoping that it's Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
¿Quieres que Ngannou gane?
Yeah.
Is that?
Quiero que gane Ngannou hoy, Francis, que gane hoy y por un cinturón en esta compañía.
I want Francis Ngannou to win. I want to go for a belt in this company.
Y una cosa, I want my bonus.
He wants a bonus. All right. Well, you'll have to talk to Nikisa and Jake about that. Inglewood, give it up for your winner, Rubeles Despan!
And there it is, your winner, Rubeles Despan. You heard him mention Karate Combat, 7-0 record in Karate Combat, 6 of those coming via the knockout. Now he has a 6-2 record in MMA, all 6 wins coming via the KO. He landed 54% of his punches for that first round KO. Well, the women have entered the chat and the building as well. Before women's MMA was mainstream, Gina Carano made the world pay attention. The original crossover star, the face of an entire era, stepping back into the cage for the first time since 2009. And then there's Ronda Rousey. She once said she never wanted to be remembered as just the best female fighter, but one of the best fighters, period. Olympic medalist, UFC trailblazer, global superstar, and tonight, Rowdy returns to MMA. But well before we get to this incredible matchup tonight, we're just getting started on Fight Night from here in LA. In just a few minutes, we've got more matches coming for you. It's a European champion taking on an American contender in Saladin Parnasse versus Kenneth Cross. Then lineal heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou looking to stop Brazilian monstro Felipe Lins. And after welterweights and fan favorites Nate Diaz and Mike Perry will do battle, and violence is on the table. 4 more fantastic fights for you on the way as we're live from the Intuit Dome in LA and around the world right here on Netflix. Lock in.
เป็น competitive.
No, you're special, Sasha. I can sense it the moment we met.
Tomato Puertas.
Amazing. So look, it's very simple. You've got until the very end of this song to get as far away from me as you can. You got the right shoes on? It'll be fine.
Everybody got a target tonight. Everybody come along for the ride. Deadly sharp shooting the game. Gonna hit you in the soul. Execution is aim. No time to rest.
You think we're playing a game? Let's do it.
Deadly sharp shooting the game. Gonna hit you in the soul. Execution is aim.
Guys, the investors pulled our funding.
What? What? I just bought a jet ski.
What do we do?
I guess I'll just start running a cash burn analysis. I'd go tumblers.
Like acrobats?
No, custom branded tumblers from Custom Ink. More water, more productivity, more funding. That's our strategy.
Custom Ink can't fix all your business needs.
I am thirsty.
I want one of those.
I want one too.
But we can outfit your team for the road ahead. With over 10,000 swag options, Ink is more than you think.
I'm a Denny's Super Slam. Hot stuff coming through. Okay, y'all can chill now. With our new Slammin' Meal Deals, you can feed everyone and still get dessert. If you've got room. Good luck. Denny's Slammin' Meal Deals, under $10.
Sports are great. But sometimes, when I accidentally hit a batter known as the pulverizer,
Here! Come here! Come here!
I can't help but wonder, is Sport Clips better than sports? Because sports plus a massaging shampoo beats sports plus headlocks. This makes me feel way less pulverized.
Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Roomba presents everyone's favorite. With deep edge corner mopping and self-washing mop pad, messes don't stand a chance, so Buster can keep making them.
This is all you?
With Roomba, dirt doesn't build up. Plus, with Auto Wash Dock, it even cleans itself.
It'll be our little secret.
Oh, no. Roomba's got it.
With 4 times more power lifting suction, the kids get to eat on the couch. Roomba keeps floors cleaner than you ever could.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Into a dome in Inglewood where we've already served up a first round knockout on this historic night of MMA action. On Netflix, we turn our attention to the lightweight division. One of the best prospects in the sport. Francis Saladin Parnasse crosses paths with Kenneth the Boss Cross, who's got the height advantage, but it's Parnasse with the reach advantage. And Parnasse, he fights like a jazz musician. Smooth, and he knows how to improvise.
Yeah, it reminds me of a lot of our Brazilian broadcaster, my former opponent, Jose Aldo. And, you know, you look at the ratio of KOs to subs. I think that's a good indicator of how complete of a mixed martial artist he is. 7 knockouts, 7 submissions, but the same could be said for Kenneth Cross, who feels disrespected here. And yes, Saladin Parnasse deserves all of the hype. But Kenneth Cross says, what about me? I'm here to spring the upset. This guy has a left hand from hell, and he comes from one of the best teams in the world in Syndicate MMA. And let's take a closer look at Kenneth Cross. He's a teammate of Gina Carano. He has 9 first-round stoppages. Again, gotta watch out for that left hand. He sets it up extremely well. Also comes from a wrestling background, so not just a striker.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Intuit Dome. And we welcome all of our viewers staying with us around the world on Netflix. as we now arrive at the lightweight division. Before we get to our triple main event, this contest scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first to the Hexagon, fighting out of the red corner, please welcome Kenny Cross.
The 31-year-old Kenny the Boss Cross making his walk to the Hexagon. He believes the MMA world still hasn't seen his best version. He's built on speed, strength, and relentless pace. Cross says this isn't just striking, it's layered violence. He compares his pressure to a Khabib smash, which of course is in reference to MMA legend Khabib Nurmagomedov. Against Parnas, he believes he's not just competitive, he is a nightmare matchup. Kenny, this is what opportunity looks like. Cross stepping into the spotlight against one of Europe's best. Can Cross disrupt Parnas before the skill gap takes over?
Well, Kenneth Cross trains at Syndicate MMA with Merab Dvalishvili, a bunch of world champions and former world champions. And he says, this guy's been fighting over in Europe. He's fighting a bunch of bums. I'm the guy who's been facing the top level competition. I'm the guy people should be talking about. So he's not believing the hype on Saladin Parnas.
Driven by the loss of his best friend DJ, who was murdered, Cross is grounded in his faith, and he's committed to inspiring others, aiming to become both a force in the lightweight division and a positive role model for the next generation. His wife, a former NCAA Division I gymnast, is identified as the loudest voice in the arena during his fights and a central support figure in his career. Kenneth Cross stepping into the Hexagon for the biggest opportunity of his career.
He looks relaxed, he looks ready, is in tremendous shape, and was quite fired up at the weigh-ins yesterday. All right, let's go into Saladin Parnas. A man I compared to Jose Aldo, one of the greatest featherweights of all time, and boy, does he know how to mix everything together. And I love the analogy, Mauro, that you used in regards to playing jazz. He's such a cool customer when he fights, very slick, always composed, and can beat you on the ground or on the feet. And these are the kind of athletes that we're getting here. He began training at age 11.
And now his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, making his way to the cage from France, Saladin.
Oh my God, I'm tired. I'll take a nap for half an hour.
Already endearing himself to the Golden State, looking to deliver some California glove, and, well, he would love to hit his opponent harder than Tupac's hit him up as Saladin Parnas struts his way to the cage. This guy drips in finesse and confidence. After UFC heavyweight Cyril Gane, he is one of the most significant names in French MMA's next wave, one of the strongest examples of French mixed martial arts maturation into a structured talent pipeline. Born to a Guadeloupean father and Moroccan mother, his mom worked multiple jobs to support 4 children after the parents divorced when he was around 10. His father passed away when Parnas was 19. He carries with him his father's spirit, looking to make his entire family and his many fans in France proud here tonight.
I'm still thinking about those bars you just dropped, Mauro. My goodness. Wow, that was impressive, man. I tell you what, Saladin is so fun to watch. Parnas really can do it all. So good on the outside, so good on the inside, really good at disguising his double leg, has excellent control and submissions on the ground. This is going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, frequent street and school fights pushed him toward combat sports. Started training, as you mentioned, Kenny, very young at the age of 11. At a time when mixed martial arts was banned in France, it's been only since January 2020 since France allowed mixed martial arts. And here we are tonight, live around the world on Netflix, where Parnas looks to make his fellow Frenchmen proud. Lots of hype for the 28-year-old who's 22-2 with 14 finishes.
Two-division champion over in KSW in Poland, a phenomenal organization. Almost won a third at 170 pounds. That's how technical this fighter is.
Will this fight last longer?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Intuit Dome for MVP MMA, we arrive at the lightweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side: Michael Bell, Derek Cleary, and Felicia O. And our referee in charge for the bell rings is Jason Herzog. So, ladies and gentlemen, 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with dark green trim, he stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 155.4 pounds. Tonight, he enters the cage with a professional mixed martial arts record of 17 victories versus 4 defeats. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, introducing Kenny the Boss Cross! And now his opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the all-black trunks. He stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 154.8 pounds. Tonight, he enters the hexagon with a professional MMA record of 22 victories versus just 2 defeats. Fighting out of and representing Aubervilliers, France, introducing the 2-division world champion and one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in Europe, tonight making his US debut, Saladin Parnasse.
Okay, fighters, gone over the rules in the back. There were no final questions from either of you. You've already touched gloves. Come out ready to fight.
3 rounds or less in the 155-pound lightweight division. Parnasse has won 4 straight, all via knockout. Cross has won 4 in a row, including a KO and an armbar. This is round 1.
First round, you sit back. You ready? You ready? Fight!
Fight.
Cross looking to derail the Parnasse Express and immediately attacks the body with a kick. Caught by Parnasse, he dumps Cross immediately. Ground and pound, Hulk smash, but Cross immediately leaps to his feet. Lightning quick action to start this one.
Yeah, great timing on that get up there from Cross, who's looking for the takedown. Excellent base there from Parnasse, who gets the underhook, able to thwart that Cross attempt.
But he runs the pipe with a single leg, but the scramble, and immediately they're back on their feet.
Excellent exchange of grappling right there from both men.
Cross backs Parnasse to the cage. A frenetic start to this, the second fight of the night. We're coming off a first-round knockout, and these two going at it from the jump.
Yeah, Cross trying to use that larger frame early. Parnasse able to turn the tables and get Cross's back up against the cage.
Level change by Parnasse, looking for that single leg. On the back take, but the scramble by Cross.
Some excellent chain wrestling there from Parnasse. Now Cross working from this butterfly guard, see if he can create space and get back to his feet. Potentially work for a reversal here. Parnasse keeping the pressure on.
Scrambling, now back to their feet. A knee from Parnasse, has that overhook. And they jockey for position. Now it's Cross with Parnasse against the fence.
Yeah, Cross with that underhook. That's what saved him and allowed him to get back to his feet. Didn't allow for that strong connection from Parnasse.
Early grappling and now a stalemate in the stand-up along the fence.
Parnasse doing a good job with that overhook and wrist control. See if he can turn him here. He does, gets off the cage.
Yep, pummeling there, looking to get the underhooks. 2 minutes have elapsed here in the opening round. They break. Southpaw jab from Cross to the face of Parnasse, and he splits the guard with another jab from the southpaw position.
Now Parnasse responds in this close stance. Two southpaws going at it. Big left hand there.
Hand from Parnasse hits him with the jab, and Cross firing back.
Cross is getting a little wild here, Morrow. He's got to be careful.
Two-way exchange, reaching the midpoint of the first round. Level change, stuffed by Parnasse.
Yeah, I'm not sure Cross liked that combination from Parnasse. Now trying to wrestle him.
Parnasse turns him, leans in, goes to the body with the left hand.
Yeah, Parnasse really utilizing
and a level change by Parnasse. And going for that takedown, puts Cross on his back and delivers the left hand and the right hand, looking to pass the guard. Long range strikes. Parnasse rocking Cross on his back, full mount by Parnasse.
Parnasse now trying to get that second hook
in, looking for the rear naked choke.
Now he needs to line up his shoulders with the shoulders of Cross. Now Cross trying to misalign and escape. He's gotten hold of that arm.
Submission wins for Parnasse, including 5 via rear naked choke. Well defended by Cross. But it's still top position, has Cross's back, ground and pound from back position. Unloading on Cross, the referee. On the spot, Cross trying to defend intelligently.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. He's so dangerous from every position. Whether it's wrestling or getting top position.
An aggressive fighter from top position continues to unload on Cross. That one landed underneath the armpit.
Yeah, Cross has got to get back to his feet here. He looks like he's in trouble.
Is on the verge of stopping this fight. Cross up to his feet. However, the guts and determination as he gets lit up by Parnasse. Unbelievable resilience by Kenneth Cross. And what a first round.
Yeah, Cross is trying to brawl with Parnasse. Oh, what a body shot!
And the body shot did it. And Saladin Parnasse, as good as advertised, as he overcomes an incredibly tough Kenneth Cross. Parnasse improves to 23-2 with his 8th round knockout. They say don't believe the hype. You might want to do so when it comes to this French fighter.
Parnasse absolutely crushed Cross to the body. And while Cross was brawling, he kept it technical. He kept his punches straight and to the point. What a performance.
1-8. TKO. TKO 4-1-8.
Now this guy is the real deal, Morrow.
He's now won 5 in a row, all via knockout. Saladin Parnasse hands Kenneth Cross another loss. So back-to-back first round stoppages. Saladin Parnasse, it was incredible to see Cross get back on his feet, but not for long. The right hand, the lefts, the overwhelming offense, and before we knew it, it was over. Parnasse with the knockout.
What the hell is that? You don't even show the finish. When you're injured, big insurance companies may try to push you around. You can hire any lawyer.
Leave him alone. What are you gonna do about it?
Or you can hire Morgan & Morgan.
Bullies?
I hate bullies! Insurance companies know exactly who we are.
Guilty!
Injured? We fight to make it right. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
I want to give you the fight you've all been waiting for. I want you, Anthony Joshua, to fight me.
With all due respect, I'm the landlord. You work for me.
Let's dance.
Yeah, I got something to prove. I ain't got nothing to lose. This is my moment. We're gonna see who's the one.
So how do you start MMA on Netflix, Kenny Florian, with back-to-back first-round knockouts, including this perfection from Parnasse?
Yeah, both of these fighters really started off very aggressively. Parnasse with those body shots. There's one, and this is the second one. Throws it again. Just a nasty dig to the body there. That one folded him like fresh laundry. Just nasty stuff from Parnasse.
And that was the first time that Cross has been knocked out, but you wonder who wants to cross paths with Saladin Parnasse after seeing this offensive display.
Just beautiful shots in tight. Didn't get reckless. Stayed defensively responsible throughout those exchanges, and despite being the smaller guy, it was his speed and his precision that got it done tonight against Cross.
Let's make it official with Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jason Herzog calls a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 18 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO due to unanswered strikes, Saladin Parnasse.
I don't know about you, Kenny Florian. I'm not paid by the hour, so these back-to-back first-round knockouts are just fine with me, and I know the fans watching at home have to agree as well. If you want action, you've come to the right place. And let's go to Ariel Helwani.
Mauro, thank you so very much. Wow, Saladin, what a performance, what a body shot, what a debut here in the United States. Is that how you were expecting the fight to play out?
Saladin, est-ce que c'est comme ça que tu voyais le combat se dérouler?
C'est parce que hard training, big win, you know, just hard training.
Oui, bien évidemment, parce qu'il a fait un camp très, très intense et il a eu beaucoup de victoires dans le passé, donc évidemment, il savait qu'il allait assurer.
It seemed like you were close to finishing him on the ground. He escapes, and then you unleash that body shot. Tell me what you were thinking and what you were looking for in that moment to put him away.
Quand tu as fait ton body shot, c'était quoi ton esprit, en fait, pour t'en sortir?
Ma mentalité, c'est toujours de gagner mes combats, quoi qu'il arrive. Je travaille dur depuis longtemps et là, ça paye. Je ne vais pas trop parler parce que je parle pas bien anglais. Je voudrais remercier mes coachs, ma team. Thank you, my team. Thank you, my coach. Thank you, my family, mom, sister. C'est hard training et c'est juste ça qui paye. Voilà, c'est l'entraînement. Et un petit message à tous les Français qui me regardent. Merci tout le monde. Ça me fait super plaisir la force que vous me donnez. Voilà, c'est pas le rêve américain que je vis, mais c'est le rêve français. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you to my coach. Thank you for my mentor. Thank you to my people in France. I've been working really hard. I gave my all, and I'm so happy to be here. It's such an honor. I had a hard training camp. I worked so hard, so many wins in the past, and yeah, I'm grateful for everyone.
Et un dernier message aussi. Thank you Netflix. Thank you Jack for the opportunity. I'm ready for the next fight. Boxing, MMA. I'm ready.
Thank you to everyone at Netflix, at MP, and I'm looking forward for the next fight. I'm ready.
Saladin, can I ask, there was so much buzz about your inclusion on this card. The hardcore MMA fans have been watching you in KSW for so many years. Did you feel that pressure? It didn't look like it, but going into the fight, did you feel like you had to produce in spectacular fashion?
Être sur une carte aussi relevée, comment tu te sens? Tu viens de KSW, tu as eu beaucoup de victoires. Et est-ce que tu as senti la pression de devoir en fait livrer en fait
J'ai pas de pression. I'm the best fighter of the world. Not pressure for me.
I understood that. You consider yourself the best fighter in the world, 145, 155. And so now the big question is, what do you want to do next? And perhaps, who do you want to fight next? Who comes to mind? Everyone's so very excited about you fighting here in the United States.
Ok. Tu as gagné à 66 kilos. Champion à 66 kilos, à 70 kilos. Donc il comprend que tu n'as pas de pression, que tu es un grand champion. Et maintenant, en fait, c'est qui que tu dois combattre?
Comment dire n'importe qui? Everywhere, non.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Anyone, anytime.
Not Jazz, Mike Perry.
Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, it doesn't matter. They call him the Kylian Mbappe of MMA, and he proved that tonight, Inglewood. Make some noise for Francis Saladin Parnas!
Tyron Parnas was among the biggest favorites on this entire card, and we saw why right away.
Parnas threw everything with an attitude, threw everything with cruel intention. He dug through the body, but he set it up with relentless pressure and variety.
We just saw it. He got crossed to the ground, landed 23 power strikes before knocking him out with an arm strike to the head, and now moves to 23-2 in his MMA career. Do you think tonight's fighters know that they've got more than one round? I don't know. Still to come. Francis Ngannou, Felipe Lins bring heavyweight danger with every punch. We've got Nate Diaz and Mike Perry promising pure violence and zero compromise. And then, of course, two pioneers who changed women's MMA forever, Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, finally meet in the cage. It will be an incredible night if you can't already tell. And in fact, we're going to go back to Ariel Helwani, who's with one of the men behind tonight's madness.
That is right. Co-founder of MVP, the CEO of the company as well, Mr. Nikisa Vidarian. Nikisa, usually, historically, boxing promoters don't cross over into another sport at MMA less than 5 years into their existence. Why did you do this?
Ronda Rousey, she's the reason that we got into women's boxing, and she's the reason that we're here today. I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with Lorenzo Fertitta, who to me is the godfather of MMA, the reason the sport exists the way that it does. So when the opportunity presented itself to work with Ronda, work with Gina, it was a no-brainer.
And so we are moving towards that main event, but what about this main card? 2 tremendous wins, first round finishes. What do you think so far?
I'm very happy with the product that's been put on display from the first fight of the night onto the main. And I'm grateful to our matchmakers, to media analysts and journalists who we spoke to, and I think we're delivering for the fans, and that's all we care about, and most importantly, delivering for the fighters.
I know you've been asked this question a lot. Is MVP going to stick in the MMA business? Are you going to stay here, or is it going to be a one and done? After experiencing all this so far, have you made a final decision?
Look, we're always transparent in our intentions. Just like when we did Paul Tyson and we said boxing with Netflix, this is a test. This is a test to see how MMA does with Netflix and how we're able to function as promoters, how fighters feel about our capabilities. So far, it's going pretty well, and I hope we're going to do many more things within this sport. I do want to say before we go, a shout out to my son, Barbad. I missed his music performance yesterday to be at the weigh-ins, but I saw you, my son, and I'm very proud of you.
Much respect. You know, I've asked Ronda this question maybe 3 or 4 times this week. I'd like to ask you the question as well. What if she wins in the first round? What if it's a great vintage armbar victory? She says she's done. She wants to have more babies. Will you try to convince her to stick around?
I will certainly present her with options if they exist, and ultimately her and I'm sure Travis will maybe talk about it, maybe they won't, I don't know. But what I can tell you unequivocally is that Ronda Rousey has a role with MVP after this fight, whether that's as a fighter or as a promoter, as an ambassador, whatever she wants it to be.
Thank you so much, Nikisa. Good luck to you guys the rest of the way, and congratulations on this great accomplishment. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Ariel. All right, you guys, we're ready. The crowd is buzzing. It's a laser show inside the Intuit Dome. You can feel it. It's not just fight night. It's an event, and one that only Netflix can bring. Stick around. 3 more incredible fights are on the way as we get ready for Rousey Carano.
And there it goes over the right field fence.
This one is toward the back. He goes deep to center. It's the hottest event of the summer. There it is. What a finish.
It's the Home Run Derby, live on Netflix.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I'm hand stuffing this mozzarella to make our epic stuffed crust pizza.
Epic.
Epic. Hey. We're making you an epic stuffed crust pizza for $13.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe. Yikes. But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, wet extra large dude wipes. See how wet dude wipes completely clears while dry TP smears, leaving debris behind on Uranus. Ditch the itch and switch to wet extra large dude wipes for the best clean, pants down.
Guys, the investors pulled our funding.
What? I just bought a jet ski.
What do we do?
I guess I'll just start running a cash burn analysis.
I'd go tumblers.
Like acrobats?
No, custom branded tumblers from Custom Ink. More water, more productivity, more funding. That's our strategy.
Custom Ink can't fix all your business needs.
I am thirsty.
I want one of those. I want one too.
But we can outfit your team for the road ahead. With over 10,000 swag options, Ink is more than you think.
Roomba presents everyone's favorite. With deep edge corner mopping and self-washing mop pad, messes don't stand a chance, so Buster can keep making them.
This is all you?
With Roomba, dirt doesn't build up. Plus, with Auto Wash Talk, it even cleans itself.
It'll be our little secret.
Oh, no. Roomba's got it.
With 4 times more power lifting suction, the kids get to eat on the couch. Roomba keeps floors cleaner than you ever could.
Just gotta pay myself. Nice. Hi, I'm you, with more gusto. My hair's growing back. Team's digging the new flow. It's just me. Correction. Team of 7. We're growing, Mikey. Get payroll that grows with you.
It's beautiful.
Tell me what you see.
He looks like Matthew. People think I killed my little boy.
But if there's a chance that he is still alive,
then there's someone very dangerous behind us. Matthew's out there. I'm gonna bring him home.
And we are back with you here on Netflix. Final preps underway for The Predator. Francis Ngannou and Felipe Lins, the biggest stage of Monstro's career, as they're set to hit the cage in mere minutes. And based on our first 2 fights, I think it's safe to say that Ariel Helwani has done the most work of anybody here at the Intuit Dome. He's running stairs, he's doing interviews, he's on the desk.
I'm living the literal dream. This is my dream, and it's such a huge honor to be here. Francis Ngannou's coming up. Saladin Parnasse, I've been watching him on internet streams for years, and he just did that in his American debut. Robelis Despan, Olympic bronze medalist, and we still have 2 more fights after that one. Let's keep this show rolling, baby. I love this.
We certainly do. I mean, certainly a lot of action right away tonight, but I do want to talk about the fight that we've got coming up, that being the heavyweights with Ngannou and Lins. What is Ngannou trying to prove by coming back into the cage?
That he is still the baddest man on the planet. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of pressure on a fighter in this position. When everyone's walking up to you being like, oh, you're fighting that guy? So what's it going to be, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes? It's not going to go to the second round, right? He looked great in his last fight, but that was October of 2024. Francis beat a guy named Renan Ferreira. They're expecting the same thing, a first round finish. So he has to go out there and look the part, look like the baddest man on the planet. Because I tell you what, there's some other great heavyweights fighting next month. Cyril Gane, Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall's in England, who all want to say they're the baddest man on the planet. Here's his chance to remind everyone that he is just that.
I can't vouch for Ariel. I did see him outside the hotel running around, getting lean and mean. He was ready for this moment. When I look at Felipe Lins, I talked to Conan Silveira, one of the founding members of American Top Team. He told me that Felipe cardio is outstanding. He said his footwork is phenomenal. He knows he has to be the smaller fighter in this position. He got to be the faster fighter, excuse me. I was at American Top Team. I haven't been there in 10 years. I'm in the sauna. Felipe's in the sauna. It's flooded with heavyweights in the gym. Not only is he in JDS, it's at least 10 to 15 high-level heavyweights. He's planning to try to steal this moment. He knows that when you're fighting without the pressure, without having to be in your hometown, sometimes you can sneak under the radar.
Can I ask Tyron a question? There's a 30 30-pound weight gap as of yesterday between these two. Felipe is 30 pounds smaller than Francis. Is that much ado about nothing?
And some of that is by design. As I told you, where did I meet with him at? In the sauna. Why would he be in the sauna? Because some people, I know my natural weight. I know when I get around 190, 187, I'm violent, but I'm not too lean to get injured and fragile, right? He wants to be lighter because he knows he's going to be faster. Don't try to out-power punch Francis Ngannou. It's going to be a quick night for you, my man, right? He has to stick, move, press, clinched, glue himself to him, try to go for takedowns, and try to exhaust Ngannou and make him throw a big shot to get him on the ground.
Okay, so the biggest stage for Felipe Lins in his entire career. Certainly Nate Diaz and Mike Perry have been on plenty of big stages, but it's been a long time since they've been in a cage. What was the reaction to fans finding out they were going to be on this card as the co-main event?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'd like to think that I have the pulse of the MMA fans online.
You do.
Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano gets announced mid-February. Okay, wow, nostalgia play. I like this. We haven't seen Gina in 17 years. Ronda 10 years. Okay, not bad. Netflix, not bad. Francis Ngannou. Okay, not bad. Felipe Lins, big underdog, not bad. Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, that graphic drops on a Monday morning. I'll never forget it. The internet exploded because let's be real, these two guys are as real as it gets. These two guys are cult-like figures in the sport. They are allergic to boring fights. They're never in boring fights. And there was a bit of absence makes the heart grow fonder. We hadn't seen them in about 5 years each in MMA. Now, they haven't been inactive. Mike Perry did his thing in the sport of bare knuckle. He became the king of violence in bare knuckle. Nate Diaz did his thing in boxing. He's the true BMF. And so tonight we find out who's truly, you know, I can't say some of these words, but the baddest
I won't.
I know. I mean, you can't say it is technically Netflix.
You guys, it's going to be amazing. There is no way. I'll give you a guarantee right now. There is no way that Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry disappoints. No way. Absolutely not. It's going to be a barn burner.
We love that sell. That is still to come. But right now, we're going to check back in with Sibley Scholes, who has a special guest, I hear.
All right, we are Hexagon side. Jerry Burris, Puka Nacua, representing LA, obviously. We're here at Intuit Dome. Historic night for MMA. Who do you have tonight on the card, the mains?
Oh, I'm 0 for 2 in the fights already, but I'm hoping Nate Diaz will bring me back. I'm feeling ready.
I'm 2-0 in the fights already. I'm calling everything right. Nate Diaz winning next. Then I got Ngannou. Then I got Ronda taking it home.
Oh, you're confident.
I'm going. I'm 2-0 already.
See that? The nights just started good for him, but it's not going to end well for him, just like some of these fights.
It's always a competition here. Have some fun, guys. Back to you.
Did you name it? Is it a girl or a boy? It's a boy.
So we are moments away from another heavyweight showdown. Do we continue the streak of first-round knockouts? It could very well be the case because we have one of the hardest punchers in the sport's history. Just ask Alistair Overeem. Francis Ngannou, the lineal MMA heavyweight champion, takes on the upset-minded Felipe Lins from Brazil. Ngannou, 2 inches taller, has the 5-inch reach advantage, both of them on long winning streaks, and we are ready for the Battle of the Big Boys Part 2.
Well, they're representing two powerhouse teams, Ngannou with Extreme Couture, Felipe Lins, American top team. A lot of finishes between these two men. Lins, a little bit more of a grappling heavy style, but watch out for Francis Ngannou, who's been working on his grappling in anticipation of this matchup.
And I think Sony got rid of some dogs and stuff. I don't know if you guys want to go through it. There's a lot of Lady Red Hot clips. Well, Sean coached
and there is Felipe Lins, won the $1 million tournament in the PFL in 2018. Made his debut back in 2005, so he's been at this a while, but he really believes he's going to come out here and spring the upset, and man, would that change this guy's life.
You want to? Oh, yeah, I don't really think there's anything like this. So. It's mostly, like I said, it's coaching.
He's a Predator versus the Predator.
How about those shorts? I don't put those. Will you go get those out of that box? I didn't show them to you because I didn't want you to see them. Because they're booty shorts.
With a blessing of God, I'm ready to punish my opponent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we arrive at our first of our 3 main events of the evening. 5 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing first to the cage, fighting out of the red corner, here is Felipe Lins.
40-year-old Felipe Lins is coming back after a 2-year layoff. He told us that was time spent handling personal life issues, recovering physically, and resetting mentally after leaving the UFC. He told us the break was intentional and necessary for becoming healthy and prepared to return to competition. He says Ngannou validates that period of rebuilding and recovery. He is on a 4-fight winning streak, and he knows standing still against Ngannou is like playing tag with a freight train.
Yeah, and Marl, feeling healthy and sustaining that healthy feeling for this long, it's huge for the psyche of a fighter, knowing that you're going to be able to bring 100% of your weapons in this fight.
The underdog told us, hey, this isn't power versus power. It's intelligence versus destruction. But against one of the hardest hitters in combat sports history, the question becomes, can Lins survive long enough to make his skill matter?
Yeah, I think it comes down to footwork, his ability to diffuse the pressure of a pressing Ngannou. Got to be able to get in and out and frustrate Ngannou for as long as possible.
Lins, a teammate with Junior Dos Santos, who we saw get knocked out in the first round by Robelis. Despain, who I'm sure is going to be watching with vested interest, would love a chance to face the winner of this fight. But when he talked to Junior Dos Santos, who previously, by the way, fought Ngannou, was stopped in the first round. But Lins said the value isn't about secret strategy. It's about understanding range, pressure, and the physical reality of sharing the cage with one of the most dangerous men in the world.
He's definitely right about that and has a plethora of heavyweight training partners over at American Top Team.
She had him out this morning in the backyard.
And here is Francis Ngannou, as you mentioned, one of the hardest hitting fighters in heavyweight mixed martial arts history. Made his debut against Tyson Fury. A lot of people know him because of that. Did extremely well in his boxing debut. Currently on a 7-fight MMA win streak.
7-fight winning streak.
Heavyweight champion of the world, the baddest man on the planet. He represents Cameroon.
Well, that's not the weirdest house. Michaela, Sonia's friend. You know her, Michaela, when her mom one time, Sonia went over there. And Sonia came home and she goes,
he's more in a position to come after me than I'm in a position to go after him. So one way or another, take him out.
I said, in my house? She goes, yeah. I said, well, this is funny.
Fighting out of the blue corner, making his return to the cage, the lineal MMA heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou!
Walking out to my fellow Canadian Drake dropped one of 3 albums yesterday called Iceman, and Ngannou always looking to put his opponent on Iceman. He left the UFC not because he couldn't compete, but because he wouldn't compromise. Now critics say he sacrificed legacy, but Ngannou told us that he sees it differently. He's looking to provide security, health care, and opportunity for his family. That is the legacy that he says matters. In a sport built on sacrifice, he chose control.
Yeah, he came out looking like an executioner, hoping to send another person into the shadow realm, and This is a guy who started out extremely athletic. He was very raw when he came into the sport, quick learner, but has developed into a phenomenal world-class mixed martial artist.
Yeah, returns to the sport with what his coach at Extreme Couture, Eric Nixick, called a renewed hunger. He's lighter, sharper, improved cardio, and a mindset that even at 39 continues to evolve. We know about his power, but he has added more grappling skills and another layer beyond power striking.
Yeah, came into training camp at the lightest weight I think ever. He talked about his camp and coaches being really happy with his progress.
Yeah, and he told us, hey, he respects Lins. He respects all his opponents, but he sees Lins as a guy with some speed, kicks, and tactical versatility. The question, though, is can Lins survive the first clean shot?
And he looks absolutely shredded. When I saw him on the scale, I said, what is he, about 230, 235? He was still 257 pounds, ripped and ready.
Just let her go, let her go. So you started crying.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Intuit Dome and live around the world on Netflix, we arrive at the first of our 3 main events of the evening. 5 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side: Ron McCarthy, Jonathan Romero, and Chris Cram. And our referee in charge when the bell rings is Herb Dean. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim. He stands 6 feet, 2 inches tall. He weighed in at 220.6 pounds. Tonight, he enters the cage with a professional MMA record of 18 victories versus 5 defeats. Fighting out of Natal, Rio Grande del Norte, Brazil. Introducing the PFL Heavyweight Tournament Champion, Felipe Monstro Lins.
Maria came over and mowed. I was so thankful.
And now his opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. He stands 6 feet, 4 inches tall.
Oh, really?
He weighed in at 257 pounds. Tonight, he enters the cage with a professional MMA record of 18 victories versus just 3 defeats. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Cameroon. Introducing the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Introducing the current lineal MMA heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Francis the Predator Ngannou.
I'm sitting in the upstairs bathroom. She said, oh, thank God they didn't.
Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. You're going to have a clean fight. Touch gloves and it's good.
Francis the Predator Ngannou is a Jack Kirby illustration come to life. On a 7-fight winning streak in MMA with 6 knockouts, Lins looking for his 5th straight win. It would be the upset of the year. The bell in round 1.
Oh, I didn't invite you.
Francis said he's going to be very patient, looking for these combinations. Already attacking with a leg kick.
Yeah.
Mauro Ranallo along with 3-time UFC title challenger Kenny Florian cage side. The left and the right from Ngannou. It's Lins looking for the takedown, but now Ngannou's looking for the guillotine choke.
Yeah, that was a crushing body kick by Ngannou, but Lins in on a nice connection here with this body lock.
Looking for his 2nd guillotine choke. The first submission of his career back in 2014 was via the guillotine for Ngannou. First minute of the first round. And the break as Lins putting his size on Ngannou, but he is the smaller man.
Ngannou doing a good job with that left overhook. See if he can circle away from the cage here.
While Lins has dabbled in heavyweight, he was most successful at 205, but having the opportunity of a lifetime here on this landmark event. The first MMA card on Netflix, and Lins willing to enter the danger zone. Right uppercut, left hand, Lins looking for the takedown. The sprawl by Ngannou.
Yeah, nasty sprawl by Francis, now landing big shots.
Ngannou lowering the boom, looking for his 14th knockout win.
Lins has to use those leg frames to try to create space, get back to his feet.
He wants to control Ngannou's posture. Stop the barrage of blows.
This is not good. He couldn't hold on to the head of Francis Ngannou, and when Francis postures up, it could be over.
We've had back-to-back first-round knockouts. Ngannou in position right now, which could very well be the beginning of the end for Lins, but Lins, well schooled on his back.
Yeah, doing a good job with his leg frames. He's trying to off-balance Francis Ngannou. Good job getting back to his feet, but eating shots here.
Series of right hands. Lins still standing after tasting the thunder of Francis Ngannou. Lins in a southpaw stance, hands down, and just about got caught with that kick.
I think he's still dazed and confused here.
Lefts. Another left hand, another right hand. It's all the Predator Francis Ngannou playing with his food.
Oh, that's a nice overhand by Lins, yes. Ngannou, though, showing patience, not rushing for the knockout.
Just over 2 minutes left in the first round, dominated by the Predator. An offensive onslaught for Ngannou. Body shots.
And I think Ngannou initiating this clinch is helping Lins to kind of recoup and clear the cobwebs.
Draining the power bar of Lins by going to the body, Kenny, making that wise investment.
Yeah, I think Ngannou may need a little bit of a break after that exchange. He's kind of getting his win back as well.
But he's still scoring with those body shots. 90 seconds left in the first round. Lins desperately trying to cause a break, change levels, and go for the takedown, but eats another punch to the breadbasket, and another body blow by Ngannou, and another one.
Oh, these are nasty. Lins needs to break and get to the center of the hexagon here.
Francis Ngannou systematically dismantling Lins, holding on for dear life, looking for the trip takedown, but Ngannou is not budging.
Yeah, Lins was looking for that sag.
257, sorry, Kenny.
But the cage was right in the way, so he decided to bail on that. I think it's a smart decision.
Final minute of the opening round, a steady diet of body shots by Ngannou. Lins turns Ngannou around, puts him on the fence. The crowd being spoiled by the back-to-back first-round knockouts, booing, and they're looking for the KO. Lins is swinging for the fence as well from the southpaw stance. And down goes Lins. Lins is laid out. The Predator has just recorded his 14th knockout. Francis Ngannou, the hardest hitter in MMA. And for that matter, maybe in combat sports.
That's all he needs, one opportunity, and he gets it done here. Like many expected, I thought Lins did a good job of surviving. There's some really scary moments in round one, but in the end, he could not deny Francis Ngannou's power and speed.
Welcome back to MMA. Francis Ngannou, 8 consecutive wins, his 7th knockout in that streak. A courageous Felipe Lins couldn't survive these kinds of shots, Kenny.
Yeah, and you see that short uppercut that landed
Remember the left uppercut on Alistair Overeem, the knockout of the year back in 2017? It's Francis Ngannou closing the show. 3 first-round knockouts in a row.
Guys, the investors pulled our funding.
What? What? I just bought a jet ski.
What do we do?
I guess I'll just start running a cash burn analysis.
I'd go tumblers.
Like acrobats?
No, custom branded tumblers from Custom Ink. More water, more productivity, more funding. That's our strategy.
Custom Ink can't fix all your business needs.
I am thirsty.
I want one of those.
I want one too.
But we can outfit your team for the road ahead. With over 10,000 swag options, Ink is more than you think.
Real men live by our own set of rules. Big bag, yeah.
You would think this is that same crew you've been looking for.
They killed my partner.
I'm gonna catch this crew.
He's not just any cop. He's cutthroat just like me.
Find a way to shut him down.
You're playing with fire. No, I bring the fire. We're gonna take everything back. You got eyes on him? And we're gonna take it in blood. I'm in my bag, yeah.
Francis Ngannou doesn't throw punches. He serves eviction notices to consciousness. The Predator knocks out Felipe Lins and improves to 19-3, retaining his status as the lineal MMA heavyweight champion. And this is how it ended. The left hook dropping Lins, referee Herb Dean waving it off. And it's another impressive stoppage win for Francis Ngannou as Lins gets stopped via knockout for the 5th time. But the Predator serving notice that he is still a force to be reckoned with. Went into a brief foray into boxing where he knocked down then champion Tyson Fury before losing a controversial decision in his pro boxing debut. He got knocked out by Anthony Joshua, but this is how you get back on track. Francis Ngannou turning out the lights on Felipe Lins. Let's make it official with Big Mo.
Felipe Lins
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean calls a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 31 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner by knockout, Francis the Predator Ngannou.
What?
A look at one of the most intimidating forces in combat sports. Francis Ngannou delivering the goods. Let's go to Ariel.
Thank you so very much, Mauro. Francis, congratulations. You did it again, my friend. Can you describe what it's like knocking a man out like that, out cold?
Well, I'm gonna give a lot of respect to Philippe because he was tougher than what I thought. You know, he did hit some shot at the beginning and then keep on going pretty good. I'm like, okay, we have a tough guy here. We have a solid guy. He's legit, you know. And then, yeah, I just keep composed and then know that there will come a moment. And I keep hearing, basically his corner saying, oh, 1 minute. I'm like, okay, 1 minute. We gotta get it done.
And you did it again in the first round. You know, there's always so much chatter, so much talk surrounding you. Do you think you reminded everyone exactly who Francis Ngannou is tonight?
Well, if somebody doesn't remember who I am, then he must have a amnesia or something. Because the statement is here tonight again. It's just another one. It's not like the first one. It's not like I'm making a statement. It's just another reminder.
You know, 2025, you didn't fight. First year in your pro career, you took off. Your last MMA fight was in 2024, October of 2024. I was wondering if at any point you were worried you would feel rusty out there, like you needed some time. What do you think?
No, I wasn't worried about my aggressiveness, you know, because one thing that I know about myself is that it's the instinct. It's something that I have. It's not something that I have to trigger. It's just in me. It comes alone. I don't have to do much for it. So I just have to be prepared and having the energy, the endurance to manage the adrenaline and everything around it.
Earlier tonight, we saw Robelis Despan say that he wanted you to win and he wanted to fight you next. What do you make of that?
Well, he had a pretty good knockout. I think we are running for the performance of the night. But I mean, he makes himself legit, even though I think I can handle him. I believe I can handle him. Basically, by what I have saw tonight, obviously has a knockout, but nothing impressive for me, for my style.
I understand. You know, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you this. During your fight, sitting right over there was Johnny Bones Jones. I believe he's sitting right over there right now in the vicinity of that shot. You see him right there. He's standing up with his arms. What do you want to say to Jon Jones, who is here watching you fight?
Well, as I said before, Jon Jones is a great fighter, probably the best that have ever done the MMA. But I think in terms of business, he still have something to learn, and he should be watching what I'm doing and learn. And then if he get it now, he should be able to figure it out and come we make this fight, because this fight can happen before we retire.
Do you think he wants to fight you?
I believe so, but I think he's caged. He's caged. He doesn't know how to get out of the cage yet. He doesn't know where is the hole in the cage.
And how would that go if you did fight? How would it go?
Well, I see myself victorious, period.
And also, could I just ask this experience with MVP? Because right over there is Jake Paul, and yesterday I saw him having some words for you. And so what has this experience been like for you fighting for MVP, and what did you make of perhaps some of the disrespect he showed you yesterday?
Well, first of all, Jake Paul is not running MVP. So he's just a blah, blah, blah guy. Nikisa run the business. He's the face, of course. So as far as business concerned, I think one thing that he was good at it, to acknowledge that his limit in business way, and then find a proper guy that can run a business size, then he can keep doing his shit, because what he was doing wasn't quite the stuff. But the experience was good. We have a good treatment by the team. Everything was squared up, being taken care of. My team, everybody, I didn't have to personally engage very much, because it was going directly through my team and they were handling everything. So it was quite an easy process, stressless.
Jon is perhaps contractually tied up. He is not. Do you want him next?
Come on, bro. I mean, I assume he's a boy now. He's a man now. Last time I saw him, he was still a boy. So I don't know. Maybe he has grown up by what I have seen, basically by what I have listening. So
well, let me ask him. Jake, what'd you think? You said some words about him yesterday, but that was pretty impressive, no?
Yeah, no, as a fighter, we can fight. As his promoter, you know, I'm here to help him. I'm very impressed with Francis Ngannou tonight and his performance. LA showed up, showed out. What we're doing is making history here tonight, and Francis is a part of that as a fighter. MVP is here to get fighters paid more, to give them another platform that gets more views than the UFC. That's exactly what we're doing. We're creating a new home. This is a moment in history. And so me and Francis can maybe box one day, but tonight, as a promoter and helping him as a business partner, he came here, and I respect him for that, and he put on an incredible performance. So as a businessman, we're going to work together and continue to help grow MMA and help fighters. And on the boxing side, maybe we can fight one day.
Okay, fair enough. Inglewood showing you love, as always. Last thing for you, Francis. Let's make something crystal clear right here and now. Are you the best heavyweight in the world?
Period. There's not a question to be asked. I'm the fucking best, period. I mean, do you have any argument for it? Bring it up.
I do not, and I think you proved that once again tonight. Inglewood, make some noise for Le Predator, Francis
Ngannou! And you see him there, Ngannou, a huge favorite. Before tonight, he'd not fought in over 18 months. Certainly, you could not tell. Tyron, he looked great. He moves to 19-3 in his career, including 13 knockouts, 10 of those in the first round like we saw tonight.
He looked
great. Philippe Lins came out and he was durable. He was standing in there. He was trying not to get knocked out. Unfortunately, it was too much power. It was sheets, blankets, layers of power coming towards him. I want to talk about this fight so bad, but I'm not going to sit here and have Johnny Bones Jones to my left and not giving him opportunity to reply back to what Francis Ngannou said. He said he's the best heavyweight in the world, right? He said we can do this fight. It's on you. You're not a businessman that can get it done. But what I'm gonna say is there's a ticket to everything, right? Tell the Netflix board, tell Nikisa them to pick up the tab when the suits come to make this fight happen. That way this fight can happen and they can be in position to do so.
Yeah, you know, I got to focus on trying to get out of my UFC contract.
Yeah.
That's going to be the difficult part. If this fight's going to happen, doing it outside, I don't think Dana's interested in doing business with Francis. So doing it with MVP would probably be the only way to make it happen. If we can get out of my contract, that'd be great.
You want to respond? Francis Ngannou says he's the best heavyweight in the world. Do you agree? Francis says he's the
Ngannou
best
said he's the best heavyweight in the world.
Tonight he looked good, but he also fought against a guy that weighed like 220 pounds, right? That guy was afraid to engage with Francis. He definitely wasn't on the same kickboxing level as Francis, but I thought Francis was very impressive tonight. He's starting to throw kicks. He threw really nice high kicks tonight, and so I'm just excited to see what's next for him.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
what a promotion, huh?
I don't know if you heard what I said, John, but I'm saying have Nikisa and have Netflix pick up the tab for the legal bill that it's going to cost to get you to make this fight. It's a cost to everything, right?
Absolutely.
So the litigation, whatever it would take to make this fight happen, they're in position to do that. It's not the first time it's been done. You've seen Conor McGregor fight against Floyd Mayweather. Something had to happen for that to happen. You are in position to do that fight more than you know.
How cool would that be? You know, heard it here first. I didn't even think of that idea. But having those guys cover the tab, I wonder if they'd be interested in doing that.
Colin Kaepernick, right? He wore the beats headphones in a bold situation. He's picked up that tab. The biggest promotion, the best marketing dollars they ever spent. If they want to make that fight happen, there's angles and ways to make that fight happen. You know what I mean?
I love that this desk has become a brainstorming session on legalese and how we can get John out of his contract. John, I know you're having a hard time. I know you're having a hard time hearing right now.
Yes, I can really
I know, but I do want to talk about the main event tonight, that being Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. You and Ronda were two of the faces of UFC at the same time. What is it like watching her walk back into the cage tonight?
I'm mainly here to watch her fight tonight. I'm a fan of Ronda Rousey. I've always have been. Her and I were really close friends years ago, and I think it's just historic to have her back in the cage. I think she's going to do amazing tonight. I think the moment she puts her hands on Gina, it's going to be bad news for Gina. I can see this being a first-round stoppage.
John, when you look at the UFC champions, you guys are all in suits. There was a genre with you and Anderson, and then GSP. That picture kept changing. You stayed there. Is this Ronda Rousey era and Gina era, is this something that had to happen? Is this a fight that you was really looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gina Carano is the reason why Ronda got here today. I mean, she really paved the way for all of women's MMA. And she's a lot older, but I think she's worked really hard to be back in this position. I know she's lost a lot of weight. And this is the fight for the fans that absolutely had to happen.
Man, you're having a lot of fun, brother. Yeah. I'm seeing you doing reality TV, right? You got your league going, Dirty Boxing going. Are you really retired?
You know, I think I am. I have a really good agent, the Kawa brothers, and these guys keep me busy. I'm constantly on the road, you know, creating my own businesses and endorsing other businesses. So, you know, I felt like if things weren't to go so well, I would feel the pressure to get back in the cage, but things are going so well on the professional level that I really have no reason to fight anymore.
So the door is not closed, though. You said I think. You said I think, not I know.
Yes.
Because we've got two fighters tonight, and Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, that also thought that they were retired John Bone Jones.
It's hard for me to hear.
She basically said Gina Carano and Ronda thought they were going to retire.
Yeah. Yeah, those girls also don't have arthritis. So, I mean, that'll slow you down. It's crazy. I've been a high-level athlete my whole life, and I feel like God, it was just like, hey, it's time to slow it down.
Yeah.
So now I'm using the love that I have in the MMA community to do other things. I'm coaching Gable Steveson. I think he's going to be the greatest. He is going to be the greatest talent that we've ever seen. He's just absolute wonderful student, and yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun together.
Enjoying life as a spectator instead of a fighter in the cage. Jon Bone Jones, thank you so much for joining us
it's good to be here
at the desk. Enjoy the rest of this historic night, as we've got much more from the City of Angels. Fight Night right here on Netflix and across the world continues after this as we get ready for Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey. Oh, okay, I thought she was asleep. Just stretching.
You guys in their TikTok? Wait, what TikTok? Wait.
You didn't see the TikTok?
I didn't see the TikTok. Oh, no.
I'm in Calabasas. You gotta live a little bit.
Getting our friend group back together, it's gonna be crazy.
That does give me anxiety when people in my circle are saying stuff about me.
I don't know what he has, but these girls go crazy for him. I think everyone should flirt. It's like good for the mind and soul.
I told myself no more toxic men, that Calabasas said plot twist.
Roomba presents everyone's favorite. With deep edge corner mopping and self-washing mop pad, messes don't stand a chance, so Buster can keep making them.
This is all you?
With Roomba, dirt doesn't build up. Plus, with Auto Wash Dock, it even cleans itself.
It'll be our little secret.
Oh, no. Roomba's got it. With 4 times more power lifting suction, the kids get to eat on the couch. Roomba keeps floors cleaner than you ever could.
Deep down, you've always had something special. But you have to go when no one's watching. To see how special you really are.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Step into Netflix house. A place to brave the upside down. Or embrace your inner outcast. A place to embark on an adventure. A place to play, shop, and eat. You've invited us into your house. Now, welcome to ours. Open in Dallas and Philly. Get your tickets today.
Welcome back. Electric atmosphere inside the Intuit Dome here in Inglewood, California. No one in UFC history, man or woman, has had more finishes in under 35 seconds than Ronda Rousey, but her last fight was 3,424 days ago. And as the years passed, her life became less about ducking the spotlight and more about spotlighting the ducks.
It's hard to imagine Ronda Rousey living the quiet life, away from the roar of the crowds she once absorbed.
Ducks are dirty, but man, their eggs are so good.
But here, east of Los Angeles, the former champion has found just that.
This isn't all shit, a lot of it's dirt.
A sanctuary built on balance, not much different than a dojo, where as a young kid, the gentle art of judo came easy.
I remember the first day I did judo, I didn't even have a hair tie. My hair was all crazy all over the place, and I was like trying to do it. I can't really say it any other way, but I was like a prodigy at it. You usually start judo when you're like 6, and my first tournament was on my 11th birthday. 6 years later, I was the youngest person from any country at the Olympics in judo.
Rousey's meteoric rise in the sport culminated at the 2008 Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, where she won bronze, becoming the first American woman to earn an Olympic medal in judo. But the structured confines of the sport began to feel restrictive, and with the path to women's MMA now clear, thanks to Gina Carano, Rousey sensed an opportunity.
You peak in judo in your mid-20s. And I was already a world Olympic medalist at 21, and maybe I just needed a break from judo. And so when I saw MMA becoming a thing, and I saw Gina Carano doing it, I was like, wait a minute. They just get to be on the ground for as long as they want? Like, no one stands them up? They're like, no. I'm like, dude, I would fucking kill her. So that's one thing that drew me to MMA is how uninvolved the referees are. So I was like, give me a year and I'll make it work. So that's right on afternoons. I have like a really unique style of judo. Gripping and all of that and fighting for position is something that I was the best at in judo ever.
Let me do a regular before reverse.
They try to get you up so quickly in judo. So I had to be transitioning into my submission already on the way to the ground, which is why my submissions are so fast. That's why I work so quickly. And it applies so well to MMA. You see my judo in my fighting. MMA allowed me to like finally be free. It like unleashed me in the way that like judo was holding me back.
He's like, you can take it.
Intuit Dome. We're back inside the Intuit Dome as we get ready for two more fights here. Of course, Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, also Nate Diaz and Mike Perry are on the way. Not on the way, already here with us, co-founder of MVP, Jake Paul is joining us. A historic night, and we've already had 3 straight first-round KOs. What do you make of what you've seen so far, Jake?
Yeah, MVP MMA is delivering. This is absolutely insane. I think God has blessed us with these amazing first-round finishes here tonight. Blessed to be here and just so happy for a historic event that we're putting on and changing the sport of MMA. This is it. This is now. This is the moment. And I get goosebumps just thinking about being able to help these fighters, giving them another place to go where there's just as much viewership, if not more, and more money for these fighters. So the future is here, and I'm just blessed.
Let me ask you a two-parter here if I can. Number one, do you feel like you have put the MMA world on notice with this event? And number two, I'll ask you the same question that I asked Nikisa, which is it a one and done, or are you 100% committed to keeping this thing going?
Yeah, I think the MMA world is on notice for sure. We have some of the best talent in the world fighting here tonight, some viral finishes, obviously the biggest streaming platform in the world. You know, there's already rumors about the numbers being circulated online, and they're even better and bigger than what we expected. And that's how the MVP team and the MVP brand does it. Shout out to the fighters also for, you know, doing all the promotion, putting in the work. We all made this happen together as a team, and it's just amazing to be a part of it. And this is not the one and done thing that people might think it is. This is the start of something massive. Me and Nikisa are hungry. We're hungry for the fighters. We're hungry to make change. We're hungry to grow this sport and continue to evolve it and give the fighters more pay, the pay that they deserve, the moments that they deserve, and another home where they can become superstars. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So this is the start of something magical.
I do want to talk about our main event. We've got 2 co-main events, but I want to talk about Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey. We just saw the package there. I know that you said you were inspired by Ronda Rousey as a kid to take up judo because of her. So what does it feel like to be a part of this moment and returning her back to the cage for the first time in a decade?
It's definitely surreal. It's a pinch me moment. I'm here with Anderson Silva, John Jones, all of the MMA legends are in the building. I grew up watching these guys, and so to be able to work with them and help them, give them a platform, it's absolutely insane. And I think it just shows anything is possible with the power of manifestation and believing in yourself.
It's really amazing, and you put it very well. You know, earlier in the week, Jake, I do have to ask you about this, because earlier in the week we did an interview, and you said you're considering retirement because of the jaw. There are people in your life who are saying maybe it's time. And then like a day later, you're on a stream saying Canelo 200 million. So I'm like, what's the real and what's not the real here? What are we doing?
So when we did our interview, it was before I went to the hospital to do the checkup on my jaw. 2 days later, I go to the hospital, and my doctor says I could spar in 2 to 3 months, and everything is healing perfectly.
Okay.
So that was the change in the narrative.
Okay, so
and
now
in the
you're
heart.
leaning
I'm
back towards. Oh, you're back. Okay.
No, I'm back.
Like MJ.
I'm cleared. I'm cleared. 2 to 3 months, I'm cleared to start sparring again. And so I'm going to do MMA. I'm going to do an MMA fight for sure.
Next up? Is that what you want to do?
Not next. Not next. Going back into boxing, we will see. There's a long list of opponents out there. But just going to get slowly back into training and figure out when I'm going to make that return.
We've got two fighters that are pretty familiar with your boxing prowess tonight, that being Nate Diaz and Mike Perry, who are fighting next year. What did you learn about them as fighters after facing them in the ring?
Yeah. You know, Nate Diaz is extremely tough, durable. His cardio is on another level. He's a warrior. He loves this. He's having fun in there. And when a guy is relaxed, they're hard to beat. And he seems in the best shape of his life for this fight. He's locked in. He's dialed. He seems jolly. It's like almost a new birth of Nate Diaz. I've never seen him like this before. And I think when he's in a mode like this, he could be very dangerous. And Mike Perry, on the other hand, is one of the toughest guys in the world. Bare knuckle, throws absolute bombs, rockets. He does not stop. He's absolutely a zombie. He just keeps on coming forward. And so Nate Diaz, you know, as tough as he is, he might have a tougher opponent in Mike Perry. So I don't know if we're going to see a brawl or if Nate's going to try to take him to the ground and submit him.
I can't wait to see how it plays out. Obviously, there's no one watching. Don't worry about it. Just between us friends, who are you leaning towards?
You know, that's a great question, and I think I lean towards Nate Diaz.
Okay.
I think he has a better all-around MMA game. I think if it stays standing, then Mike Perry can stay in the fight for a while. But if I was Nate Diaz, I would want to take it to the ground and try to get into his jiu-jitsu skills.
There it is. We have the fan favorites coming up in just a minute as we say thank you so much, Jake Paul. Enjoy your cage side seat. It's nice. You've got like a whole domain where they come and they hug you and they greet you and kiss the ring a little bit. We love that for you.
It's a good life.
Yeah, it's a really good life to be Jake Paul. We appreciate you. Of course, we are anticipating the return of Gina Carano as well. After 17 years away, she's walking back into the spotlight tonight with a chance to add another chapter to a legacy that helped change the sport forever. A true trailblazer, someone who's never taken the easy road and somehow still built history because of it.
Raised amidst the neon allure and tempting background of Las Vegas, Gina Carano instinctively sought the grit of an untamed path, a teenage rebellion against what would be considered an affluent upbringing, choosing the streets rather than stepping into a designed life of privilege.
I didn't ever think about having a future. You're supposed to go to law school, you're supposed to, go be a doctor, you're definitely going to college. I didn't like money being held up from my head, so that's when I met Kevin.
The second I laid my eyes on her, I was in love forever.
We were young, and we're living a life that we lost a lot of friends to drugs, alcohol, murder. It was not a good place to be. How badly can we destroy our lives? And that's the life we lived in Vegas. And then Kevin decided that he was going to stop drinking and start training Muay Thai.
At that time, there was no Muay Thai in America. It was just non-existent. You couldn't even tell people you fought Muay Thai. They didn't know what it was.
I walked into the gym that he was training at, and this little Thai man came up to me, Master Chan, my first ever coach, and he said, "Oh, baby, you're fat. You need to lose weight." And I was like, yeah, okay. All right, let's start training. Once you start training and learning, it is so addicting. You fall in love with it. I lost 30 pounds, and I had my first fight 6 months later.
1, 2, 3, low, rip it in there.
Success arrived early and often, with wins in her first 7 fights. And as the women's side of MMA began to catch on, Carano established herself as a trailblazer with a legacy as bright as the lights of Las Vegas.
All right, people.
It is time to take a look at the betting markets for our co-main event with the Tale of the Bet. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, and here putting on his gambling hat to give us his perspective is DraftKings MMA analyst Kenny Florian. Hey, Kenny.
Thanks, Al. Excited to see this go down tonight, and the odds are saying it's going to be a good one. So every MMA fight ends one of three ways: by decision, submission, or knockout. A decision means the judges scored after all the rounds are over. A submission happens when a fighter forces a tap or a stoppage on the ground, and a KO or TKO is a significant strike that ends the fight. So DraftKings prices each of these outcomes separately, so you're not just picking who wins, but how they win. And for me, the Diaz brothers, it's all about respect, and I don't think the odds makers are giving the Diaz brothers respect here. Yes, Mike Perry is very dangerous. He's definitely capable of winning by knockout here, but in 20 years, Nate Diaz has only been stopped twice, one of them by cut. So I actually like him as an underdog pick. I think there's a lot of value there on the legend, Nate Diaz.
Okay, we haven't seen Nate Diaz in an MMA ring for about 4 years, so maybe that's where you're getting a little bit of that as well. All right, DraftKings Sportsbook is the official betting partner of Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. Right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5, get $100 in bonus bets instantly by downloading the app and using promo code RING when you sign up. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Nate Diaz, and they are not holding back. A stacked card, big names, moments you won't stop talking about. And DraftKings is your home for all the action. Bet the winner, the method of victory, or even which round it all goes down. When the fight takes over Netflix, don't just watch it, be part of it with DraftKings. And right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the app and use the promo code when you sign up.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe. Yikes. But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, Wet Extra Large Dude Wipes. See how Wet Dude Wipes completely clears while Dry TP smears, leaving debris behind on Uranus. Ditch the itch and switch to Wet Extra Large Dude Wipes for the best clean, hands down.
Total Power doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. And it begins with a network as powerful as you. With Total Wireless, you have the power with unlimited 5G wireless with no contract and no caps. Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy on us. When you have Total Power, there's no slowing you down. Switch to Total Wireless. That's a Total Power move.
The Burrows is not a last chapter. It's a new beginning. There are wonders in the Burrows. It's impossible.
Nothing's impossible anymore.
MMA's debut on Netflix has thus far been a knockout. 3 consecutive first-round KOs, and we've arrived to the people's main event. No filters, no apologies. Nate Diaz and Mike Perry treat violence like performance art, with blood as punctuation and chaos as conversation.
I don't
Diaz
see
looking to
Nate
maximize
Diaz
a 5-inch reach advantage.
And here we have Nate Diaz representing, of course, Nick Diaz Academy. See a bunch of finishes there, 4 knockouts, 13 submissions, 11 KOs for his opponent, Mike Perry. This should be a fun one here, Mauro.
That below is longer than the first round.
Give us the 4-1-1 on the king of violence.
Yeah, they call him the king of violence for a reason. Obviously has had a ton of success in bare knuckle fighting, 6-0. Only been submitted once. I think he's going to need that submission defense here, potentially against Nate Diaz.
He is still the reigning defending king of violence champion. He is the platinum one, Mike Perry.
After everything I've proven, King of Violence, the bare knuckle fighting, I'm gonna hit Nate like he's never been hit before. I'm gonna be all over this motherfucker like white on rice. I'm the real BMF.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we arrive at our second main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing first to the cage, fighting out of the red corner, here is Mike Perry.
Mike Perry told us that survival shaped him long before fighting ever did. A childhood split between Michigan and Florida left him constantly battling to belong. A road that spiraled through drugs, probation trouble, and jail until a job at a UFC gym changed everything. What started as work became the rise of Platinum, one of combat sports' most volatile and unforgettable personalities.
Well, Mike has matured so much over the years, and I'm curious to see how he's going to adapt to the five-minute round format here when he's been used to 2-minute rounds. So now it may not matter either way because he's so explosive and is going to look for the knockout here, but interested to see how he adapts.
Perry steps back into MMA for the first time in more than 5 years, rebuilt through bare-knuckle warfare, and believing he is more complete than ever. Long known for his pressure, power, and pure chaos, Perry says this version is smarter. But against a guy like Nate Diaz, Perry knows the mission is simple. Bring the violence before Diaz finds his rhythm.
I think that's exactly what he needs to do. He understands the assignment. Can he get out the durable Nate Diaz early, though?
A father of two, looking to make a successful return to MMA. 11 of his 14 wins have come due to his punching power.
All right, let's take a look at the legend, Nate Diaz, founder of the BMF title. You can look that up if you don't know what BMF means. This is his 35th pro MMA fight, and with that level of experience and with that third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, this guy is going to be a problem if it goes into the later rounds.
The baddest motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want.
He is the real BMF. He is the one and only Nathan Diaz.
I think I'm better than everybody everywhere.
The whole world out here to hunt down and fucking take over, so that's what I'm after, and he's another guy doing the same thing. Take him out, kill him, be killed.
And now, fighting out of the blue corner is the West Coast in the building for Nate Diaz.
Anticipation for the people's main event is higher than Nate Diaz on any day ending in Y. Fighting in mixed martial arts for the first time since 2022 when he submitted Tony Ferguson in round 4 with a guillotine choke at UFC 279. During his stint in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Diaz won Fight of the Night honors 8 times. Kenny, he's made a career out of drowning opponents in deep water. The pace, the pressure, the psychological warfare. And listen to this response. One of MMA's biggest anti-heroes, a cult favorite. He and his brother Nick, as authentic as they get.
Yeah, his superpower has been durability and toughness, and he's used it to win so many fights over the years in a bunch of different combat sports venues, whether it's boxing or stand-up or whatever it is. This guy is the real deal, but I think he's at his best when he's doing mixed martial arts, and Nate Diaz is a legend for a reason, and they absolutely love him here in Cali.
Against Conor McGregor at UFC 196, he absorbed the early precision. He extended the fight into deep water, forced McGregor to work at an exhausting pace, and then capitalized once the movement slowed. Panic started, and then all of a sudden it was a rear naked choke heard around the world. And even to defeat in the rematch, Diaz still managed to drag McGregor into a narrow, exhausting war, despite knockdowns and severe leg damage.
I tell you what, it's been a little bit since we've seen him in MMA, but this is the best I have seen him. He physically looks phenomenal.
He was born the day after Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hitman Hearns, their Thriller, which happened on April 15th, 1985. He shares his birthday with Gina Carano, who we will see in the main event. He also shares his birthday with Papa Ronaldo, watching tonight in the metropolis of Mount Lehman, British Columbia, Canada.
Love it.
The real baddest mother effer. Nate Diaz against the king of violence, Mike Perry. Enough said.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are all set for our second main event of the evening, live around the world on Netflix. 5 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side: Rafael Davis, Chris Lehman, and Marcel Varela. And our referee in charge for the bell rings is Mike Beltran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gray trim, he stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 169.6 pounds. Tonight, he enters the cage with a professional MMA record of 14 wins versus 8 defeats, with 11 of those wins by knockout. Fighting out of Orlando, Florida, many fighters can be gold, but only one is platinum, Mike Perry!
I don't think Mike Perry.
And now his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim. He stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 168.6 pounds. Tonight, he enters the Hexagon with a professional MMA record of 22 wins versus 13 defeats, with 14 of those wins coming by way of submission with 4 knockouts. Fighting out of Stockton, California! Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the king of the West Coast, Nate Diaz!
You need to cut the tension with a chainsaw.
All right, Joe, good over the rules already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. The sound of the bell, come on out, handle your business. Let's go.
From Stockton streets to combat sports folklore, Nate Diaz turned toughness into mythology. Mike Perry turned unpredictability into an art form. We're about to see poetry written in punches. Scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Netflix first MMA event has delivered 3 consecutive first-round knockouts, and Perry immediately on the hunt, landing the right hand.
Oh, Perry.
Mike Perry.
Looking to go up and over the guard of Nate Diaz. Nate doing a good job of clinching
When it comes to Mike Perry, one touch can be too much. And he's already touching up Diaz. Diaz now from the southpaw stance, working that educated jab.
Yeah, and I like how bladed Nate is. He tried to make himself a little bit longer, increase that range. Of course, very well known for that jab. Needs to continue to pump that out. Nice elbow.
From Perry. Close range knee from Perry. He's got the collar tie. Knee to the liver by Mike Perry. Another elbow from Perry. Diaz ducking. Perry's got his back. It's all Mike Perry early.
Yeah, Mike. Oh, what a throw!
Hanegoshi! Shades of Ronda Rousey by Diaz, but it's Perry in top position. Side control.
Beautiful throw there from Nate Diaz, but Mike Perry able to turn the tables and take the back briefly.
And up kicks from Diaz. Perry looking to drop those heavy right hands. Ground and pound from Perry. And now it's Diaz looking for the submission.
Nate Diaz extremely dangerous even from the guard.
Looking for the ankle hook, looking for the submission. Danger on the ground when you're facing a Diaz brother.
Just switch it into an inside heel hook potentially. Nate Diaz, one of the most prolific submission artists in mixed martial arts history.
12 of his 21 wins have come via submission.
He lost the knee line. Now he's able to potentially get on top. Nice scramble from Mike Perry.
And Perry will say, come back up to where my domain is in the stand-up. The crowd and Fuego. Just over 3 minutes left in the first. Perry comes forward, hands low. Diaz looking to read Perry, try to find a way to work the jab, follow up with the left hand. Jab from Perry, body shot by Perry.
And Mike Perry has slowed down significantly, as has Nate Diaz.
So Diaz.
Yep.
As Drake just dropped, more tired than a Firestone. 2:42 left in the first round, and man, the pace. Oh, what a body shot by Perry. That hurt Diaz. Diaz trying to clinch.
Yeah, and it was a strong knee upstairs as well for Mike Perry.
Midway point of the round, and Diaz showing early signs of fatigue, and he is feeling the power of Perry.
No question about it, and those body shots aren't helping either. Another body shot from Mike Perry.
Perry attacking the body like it's filled with candy, and he is lighting up Nate Diaz. Diaz fires the jab. Left hook lands for Perry. Another body shot by Perry. Diaz trying to stay standing. 2 minutes left in the round. Another left hand by Perry.
Yeah, and this is where Mike Perry really needs to balance that aggression. Doesn't want to waste all of his energy here in round one. We know how strong Nate Diaz is later on in the round.
Perry showing no signs of cage corrosion. There's that jab from Diaz. Needs to follow up with the left.
Yeah, Mike Perry needs to get off the center line there. He's eating a lot of jabs. He needs to move that head and counter. The left hand of Diaz is pretty low here. Let's see if Perry takes advantage of it with an overhand right.
Diaz susceptible to cuts, a lot of scar tissue around his eyes. There's a right hand by Perry.
Yeah, Mike Perry switching to southpaw here.
Just misses with the right. And Diaz already told to the eye. There's blood around the right eye of Diaz, but never say die. Nate Diaz coming forward, putting together the combination. A minute left to the first.
Now it looks like Nate Diaz has recovered.
Three-punch combo punctuated by the right hook. Blood now on the face of Perry.
I'd like to see Nate Diaz start to attack the body of Mike Perry to try to slow him down.
45 seconds left in the round. Toe-to-toe they go. Diaz looking to set a trap, potentially backing himself up to the fence. Crowd chanting Diaz. Knee up the middle by Perry, but Diaz putting together the combos.
Yeah, 100%, but I like how Mike Perry is mixing up his strikes. He's throwing kicks, he's throwing knees and elbows as well. Nate Diaz has an opportunity here. Unable to do it. Nice reversal by Mike Perry.
Final 10 seconds. Elbows from Mike Perry. Putting it on Nate Diaz in the final seconds of the first frame. The people's main event is delivering thus far.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe. Yikes. But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, wet extra large dude wipes. See how wet dude wipes completely clears while dry TP smears, leaving debris behind on Uranus. Ditch the itch and switch to wet extra large dude wipes for the best clean, pants down.
W is a personal care brand created by Jake Paul, built for young men who are putting in the work. W just released its new and improved deodorant now with more scent, more glide, more sweat protection. Get it on Amazon or at Walmart stores nationwide. W, because smelling good isn't just about hygiene, it's about confidence, and confidence helps you show up ready to win the day. Now that's a W. And we are set for round 2 of this welterweight matchup between Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. A great opening round for Platinum Perry, but Diaz is never out of a fight, no matter how much it looks like that may be the case.
No, he isn't. Did a great job of recouping from those body shots, now staying busy with that lead hand.
Stinging jab by Diaz, but Perry closes the distance, looking for the elbow strikes. Superman punch by Perry.
Mike Perry can do so much damage in a short amount of time.
Chance of let's go Diaz. One of the biggest stars in MMA. Made his bones with that intense rivalry with Conor McGregor. Awaiting perhaps a future rubber match there, but right now he's got his hands full with Mike Perry.
Yeah, and Mike Perry continues to try to destroy the body of Nate Diaz.
Diaz shelling and then lands a double jab, going for another one, just missed. Perry's hands are down, goes to the body with the right, left hook upstairs. Oh, right hook by Diaz to the head.
Yeah, Diaz putting a little pop on those hooks now.
Knee up the middle with the collar tied. Oh, Perry just missing with the left elbow.
Nate Diaz doing a good job moving his head there. Oh,
left uppercut by Perry. Another uppercut. Oh, another combination that lands for Perry, putting it on Nate Diaz. Man, Diaz is durable.
Oh, nasty elbows here.
Cut right hand. Mike Perry punishing Nate Diaz here in round 2. And yet Diaz standing his ground.
And this is exactly what both fighters expected. They knew they were in for a war.
Nice 1-2, as for the first time we are in round 2. And it's a bloody, brutal affair already.
And Mike Perry showing fatigue here.
What do you expect when you have the original baddest mother effer and the king of violence, Kenny?
Yeah, exactly. These guys are trying to kill each other here.
And the crimson mask begins to envelop the face of Nate Diaz.
I like how Mike Perry is pacing himself, though. Anytime he lands his continued combinations, he takes a little break, backs out, and resets.
And now taking the back of Diaz. Whoa. Kicking from all angles is Mike Perry. Hand fighting now as Diaz looks to break the grip. Perry looking for the rear naked choke. It's not there. And of course, the more we go, the more sweat will make a submission attempt slippery.
Not to mention the blood as well, Mauro.
What adjustments does Diaz need to make, Kenny?
Well, I think Nate Diaz needs to continue jabbing from that bladed stance. I don't like that he's backing up against the cage so much. I think he needs to keep this more in the center of the hexagon here.
He's been stopped twice, the doctor stoppage against Jorge Masvidal, and that head kick and punches exchanged by Josh Thompson, but Perry looking to stop Diaz here in round 2, a minute 45 left. Diaz back, vicious elbow from long distance by Perry. Diaz fishing for an armbar. Perry continues to deliver ground and pound.
And it is so slippery, it's going to be really difficult to control the torso of Mike Perry on these arm lock attacks. Nate Diaz, an absolute warrior, trying to get his legs back in the game to defend himself.
Just constant punching from Mike Perry. Right hand bouncing off the face of Nate Diaz in the butt scoop position. Referee Mike Beltran wants Diaz to get up. He's covered in blood.
Man, look at that pool of blood on the back of Nate Diaz. And Mike Perry understands the danger of being in Nate Diaz's guard for too long.
1-2 from Diaz, however, blood on his face, blood on his back, the back of his neck. It looks like a horror movie, but Mike Perry continues to slash away, and Diaz continues to punch back.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And I'm not sure he can see out of that right eye right now, Morrow.
You have to check his DNA. You really do.
He's an absolute beast.
And so is Perry. Body shot, left hook. Another left hook to the liver by Perry.
These are two savages here.
It's made up. Another body shot by Perry. It is bloody. It is brutal. But if you know, you know it's also beautiful.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times from Nate Diaz, and somehow he finds a way to get back into this fight. Mike Perry, again, pacing himself, trying to regroup and reset.
Hands are down, looking maybe to set a trap with his reflexes. A sustained offensive onslaught from Mike Perry, and yet Nate continues to survive, but for how much longer?
What a knee to end that round from Mike Perry. That hurt Nate. 100%.
That was a nasty knee.
Robert, I'm going to call time, check it out. I'm going to call time and then check it out, okay? Yeah, I'm going to call time.
Breathe, Nathan, breathe.
Diaz leaking like a political document, and they have stopped the another cut stoppage, just like against Jorge Masvidal. Mike Perry proves to be victorious, picks up his 12th knockout win, an impressive return to the MMA cage for Platinum Mike Perry, and a disappointing defeat for Nate Diaz, always willing to go out on his shield.
Yeah, always. And Nate Diaz, I think, ate too many elbows. Maybe the knee was one of the culprits of those bad cuts, but my goodness, it looks like he performed surgery on the head of Nate Diaz without using sutures. My goodness. Nasty, nasty cuts.
Mike Platinum Perry punished Nate Diaz, making him a bloody mess. The knee led to the finish. Mike Perry wins the people's main event.
Credit One Bank presents Cancelina. She's a credit wrecker. She loves canceling older credit cards when they're paid off. But what she doesn't know is that canceling them can decrease the length of her history and hurt her credit mix, both of which could lower her score. Don't be like Cancelina. Instead, learn how to avoid the wreckers at creditwreckers.com. Credit One Bank for what's ahead.
We need to increase female market share. Women just want to feel heard, right?
I think they want to be heard.
Alex, I'm in the middle of an idea, but it's so good to have you in the room.
There you go. You hurt? You want a pill?
Women are in charge here.
What are you doing in my office?
Where the hell am I?
That's my girl. He wants to sit at the big girls' table.
Take me back!
Here at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, our 4th consecutive finish, and Mike Perry touched Nate Diaz with thunder throughout the fight.
Loved the way he was mixing up strikes, balancing his aggression with patience, just nasty body shots. There's another. In close, he was landing elbow after elbow, was throwing knees upstairs. There's Nate Diaz landing a beautiful combination there.
But here comes the knee that came with an unsubscribe button for Mike Perry. The uppercuts, I mean, it was It was an onslaught, Kenny.
Yeah, but the fight really delivered. We knew these guys were going to be violent and aggressive. It's exactly what we got. How about that elbow?
The variety of strikes from Mike Perry, the placement, the delivery system, dynamite.
He's matured outside of the cage and matured inside as well. I think Mike Perry from several years ago probably would have got exhausted after round one. He was able to pace himself. He prepared, looked phenomenal tonight.
More blood to the red wedding as the fight is waved off and Mike Perry is victorious. Let's make it official now with Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mike Beltran calls a stop to this contest at the end of the second round due to advisement of the blue corner, declaring your winner by TKO Platinum, Mike Perry!
Fourth consecutive finish. That's how you say hello to MMA for the first time live on Netflix. Mike Perry, a successful return to MMA, and he's standing by with Ariel.
Mauro, thank you very much. Here with the winner, Platinum Mike Perry. You know, Mike, leading up to this fight, you talked about how much the Diaz brothers meant to you. What does a victory over a Diaz brother mean to you?
Oh, man. I mean, look, I landed really good shots, and I was hitting. I was getting a little tired, but I think that's part of it. Like, we get tired every round. He's the toughest fucking guy out there. There was no quit in him. If he stumbles around, you know what I mean? He's got tricks up his sleeve. I can't just go in his guard and ground and pound, tie up my feet or throw an arm bar. He's super tough, man, but we got the job done tonight. I got to be happy that I had success. The entire crowd was cheering for him so loud and booing me, and all I did was be respectful and try to bring some hype. But I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity that MVP and Netflix gave me, and I tried to bring it, you know, and blood was spilled.
It sure was. Obviously, they love him here. There's no doubt about that. And they're booing, and we understand that. Is any part of you a little disappointed that you couldn't win emphatically, that it was stopped between rounds?
I think it was pretty emphatic. I think it was fucking big power shots landing left and right. I slowly walked and paced across the ring. I didn't feel any counter shots. Only his jiu-jitsu was putting me in trouble at times, and I knew how to counter that. But, you know, it didn't get a complete stoppage in his book. If there's a rematch, or if Conor McGregor wants to put up or shut up, stop running his mouth. Jake's crazy calling out Francis Ngannou. I'm not calling out Ngannou, but I would MMA against Jake Paul.
Jake?
I'll MMA this motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Already beat that ass in boxing.
It was a good fight. You did. You got me, bud. I'm more of an MMA fighter. You saw the shit I landed tonight. You wouldn't fucking like that shit either.
I love it, Mike. I love you, Mike. You're a warrior. This is your night. This is your moment, but we can run it.
Thank you, bro. It's great to be here.
Obviously, Mike, you've been fighting in BKFC for the last 5 or so years. Those are 2-minute rounds. Your last MMA fight, 2021, how was the cardio going out there for 5 minutes?
Well, I didn't get to see the championship rounds. I got it. Look, 5-minute round is a lot against me. Like, I'm making people quit in 4 minutes or less in bare knuckle. Fucking little gloves and elbows. 10 minutes of damage. It's a lot of fucking power and pain for people. I'm a lot to deal with. I'm a super aggressive guy. I train really hard, really explosively, and I landed some shots. Now, no one's tougher than that guy. That guy shouldn't have been taking those fucking shots, but he does. So I'm grateful to be successful tonight. My babies are watching, Ocean and Audie. I love you guys so much back home in Florida. I take a couple weeks and chill and then get right back in the gym.
Are you going to stick with MMA? We'd love to see. Okay, very nice. Are you going to stick with MMA, Mike? Because it seems like you've got your mojo back here.
Yeah, man, I'm a badass full-around fighter. Like, I'm the meanest guy in the clinch. Elbows, knees, a bloody game. I had some ground and pound. My coaches, my teammates at Fusion XL in Central Florida, man, we're the best crew in Florida. We're fucking constantly fighting between UFC and every other organization. And all we do is continue to show up to the gym and work.
Did want to give a word to Nate Diaz real quick. Nate, congrats on a valiant effort. This crowd showing you tons of love throughout the entire evening. Your reaction to the stoppage?
Yeah, he did everything I expected him to do. Come out hot and ready and aggressive forward. And I think I broke my finger in like the first 2 seconds. I was spending too much time worrying about that instead of focus on the animal at hand. But I'm gonna come back and get his fucking ass. And I'm gonna get his fucking ass. And then I'm gonna get your ass.
Please don't. Please don't. I want none of that. So do you want him back?
I would like to get come on, motherfucker. Ain't nobody beat me twice. Nigga. What's up?
Was he tougher than you thought he would be?
No, I knew it was tough. Good work, Mike.
Do you agree with the stoppage? The decision to stop the fight?
Yeah, I have blood in my eye. I couldn't see shit. I wasn't gonna do nothing, so it's all good. But I'll be here till the end of time, and next time he ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Okay, can't wait for that. Your response, Mike, to this?
He wants to fight me again. I mean, he didn't want to stop at the end of 2. He was ready to come out and try to tie me up in the 3rd and probably the 4th and 5th too. Anybody who wants to give him another chance, I'll be happy to oblige. I'm here to fight, no matter who, no matter when, no matter where. Let's do it.
An absolute classic, Inglewood, between these two warriors. Please give it up for Nathan Diaz and your winner, Platinum Mike Perry.
I was trying to show you this so you can talk about it.
And there it is, our first fight of the main card to actually make it out of the first round, and it ends after the second in favor of Mike Perry, a cut stoppage. It's the same exact way that Nate Diaz went out against Jorge Masvidal back in 2019. Perry throwing 30 more punches than Diaz did and landed almost 40 more, as we say officially hello on camera, against L. Duncan and Tyron Woodley. So you said early on in the fight, this is playing out exactly how I thought that it would. Were you surprised at all with the result?
You know, this is my division. These are guys I may have fought. These are guys that I have to break down and watch. You know, I knew that if Perry went forward, hit to the body, and do punches and bunches and really throw his combinations and screens, he would do well. I also knew that Nate would do well if he used a longer jab and keep him at bay and blade his shoulder forward. I sent Kenny a bar.
Okay.
Mike Perry told me the night before the weigh-in, he said, hey, I already did all the hard training. My kids at home watching safe. I got one thing I'm focused on. And when a fighter comes to a weigh-in and say, this is my favorite part, you better believe it.
Yeah. Would you like to see Mike Perry stay in MMA? He's been doing very well in bare knuckle.
He never left MMA. Bare knuckle is missing a few kicks, missing some takedowns. Did you see a kick or a takedown from Mike Perry?
Yeah.
His mindset and his game plan is the same.
All right, we've got the main event that is still coming up. They've been fantastic fights tonight. We're still awaiting the return of Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, but the 2 stars of Nemesis are in the building, Matthew Long and Ellen Knoll. No strangers to duking it out themselves. The new series from the creator of Power is now playing only on Netflix. 2 pioneers, 1 cage, and after years of near myth and what ifs, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are finally about to meet. My friends, our main event is next. Stick around.
Main event is next.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe. Yikes. But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, wet extra large dude wipes. See how wet dude wipes completely clears while dry TP smears, leaving debris behind on Uranus. Ditch the itch and switch to wet extra large dude wipes for the best clean, hands down.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back.
Break away to what's possible with Tremfya.
The only IL-23 blocker for Crohn's and UC to offer self-administration from the start.
Tremfya can help with symptom relief as early as 4 weeks, remission at 12 weeks, 1 year, and 2 years.
Some had visible repair of their intestinal linings. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Break away with Tremfya.
Backed by over 15 years of clinical research.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I'm hand stuffing this mozzarella to make our epic stuffed crust pizza.
Epic.
Epic. Hey, we're making you an epic stuffed crust pizza for $13.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
How can I help? I'm here to tell you, switch to Gusto, time tracking, schedules. I'll sync the payroll. I know. I know that you know. I know you know that I know, too. I know you know we know. Switch to special payroll. We're on the same page.
John Creasy, U.S. Army Special Forces.
What brings you to Rio?
Work.
Let me just be very clear. You're not gonna survive this.
We are back at the Intuit Dome and minutes away from a historic fight. After 17 years away, Gina Carano saying, I didn't know I needed this so much, while Ronda Rousey calls this a great fight for the sake of great fights. Tonight, two legends will step back into the cage together. It is almost time for our main event.
Of the best female MMA fighting.
No one is questioning their credentials.
Gina Carano is now the face of women's MMA. One of a kind, rowdy Ronda Rousey.
No one is denying their strength, with legacies written and chapters closed. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano have nothing left to prove, except, perhaps, to themselves.
It's about the respect. It's about closing out something that's always been lingering in the back of my head. Could I do that again?
For me, this is my own closure. I've done enough fighting for everybody else. This fight's for me.
They're doing this because, all these years later, the flame still burns inside.
Doing hard things makes you start to live again.
I'm going to be the most dangerous I have ever been.
The need to be tested, the hunger to be challenged, blow by blow by blow. At stake, the ultimate privilege, walking away with no questions left to answer, not an ounce left to give.
There's nothing that is going to wake you up better than getting in a fight.
It's going to be fast and furious with us. Second that bell rings, you know it's going on.
Set here at the Intuit Dome, Gina Carano, the original face of women's MMA, the first to headline a major MMA card, and Ronda Rousey, Olympic medalist, UFC Hall of Famer, global superstar. Both have said there is a mutual respect between them, but don't get it twisted, they still want to give each other hell. And it's pretty fitting that we're out west, because it feels like there's pioneers everywhere, including at the desk with me right now. Kat Zingano joins me now, a former UFC title contender who faced Ronda Rousey back in 2015. What do you remember about what it's like to be in the cage with Rowdy?
I mean, she's very talented. She's very skilled. She's very confident, you know. And so, you know, I also know I'm very talented, very skilled, very confident. And her coming into that power and her ability, everything here is a really intense time in this filled out arena.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
The atmosphere is intense. You know, listen, I know how I felt when I found out Ronda Rousey was returning to the cage for the first time in 10 years. You actually found out before even some of her family members. Can you explain?
Oh, yes. About a year and a half ago, Ronda had reached out to me saying that she was looking for this fight. She wanted to put it together. She wanted a legacy legend fight with Gina Carano, and she hit me up to come help her train. And one of the rules was once I got up there, we were telling her mom that we were training for me. Yeah, we were not telling her mom that she had a fight or any of this was in the works. So it was funny because I left and she was like, hey, my mom just said, you know, some people just don't know when to quit.
Interesting. So obviously her mother knows now that she's returning. What was she working on in training?
Ronda was working on Ronda things. You know, she was closing the distance, getting the clinch, trying to do some damage before getting a solid takedown. Definitely working on making the transition from taking teeps, you know, moving her head, getting out of the way of punches. So, you know, she was very diligent on making sure she was focusing on herself, but also working on being defensive of anything that could come her way out of Gina being a strong kickboxer.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions about should Ronda just keep leaning on the things that made her great, or should she work on the things, some of her weaknesses, in order to face Gina Carano? What did you feel when you saw her?
I mean, I really believe that you need to work on what your opponent is good at too, because you never know what situation you're going to need to get out of. You know, they have a good moment, you have a good moment. If you end up, you know, wobbled or whatever, like Ronda has experienced before, like you need to know that you're going to get through it, and what are your answers to that? You know, same where Gina, if she only focused on her hands in those moments, she wouldn't have answers for what happens if she does get to the ground, which with an Olympian like Ronda, you really should prepare for that and get ready for that.
I want to talk big picture for a second. As someone who has walked in these women's shoes, who knows what it is to be a pioneer, what does it mean to you to watch these two trailblazers from different eras finally meeting in the cage tonight?
It was really incredible. There was a point in my early career that I actually had a picture in my gym of Gina, and that was the goal. That was someone that I eventually wanted to fight. She was beautiful, she was tough, she was strong, she was winning, and I remember looking at her and being like, that's incredible. Like that's goals right there. You know, she went into the movie career, and then Ronda came up, and I was very excited to get to fight and, you know, have competition against a pioneer like Ronda. But to see Gina back here and to see both of these incredible women that made such moves for this sport compete against each other, it's really surreal. It's an incredible experience.
It truly is. It's been 17 years for Gina. It's been 10 years for Ronda Rousey. That time has almost come to an end. We're about to see them. Thank you so much, Kat, for joining us to break down this historic matchup. But one more time, before we get a cage side, we check in with Sibley Scholes, who's standing by with a special guest.
Oh, we are Hexagon side now with WWE Icon. I'm going to call you, yes, Icon. CM Punk in the building, best in the world. We already know fans of WWE can find it streaming on Netflix every week. I have to talk to you about your two legendary friends taking the Hexagon tonight. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano. How do you see that playing out?
I would be remiss to not go with Ronda Rousey. I think she's going to do what she always did. She's going to march forward, she's going to clinch, she's going to throw, and she's going to armbar. My opinion.
I like that. You were ready. You're an analyst.
A little bit, yeah. I've dabbled in some commentary here and there.
CM Punk, thank you so much. Have fun tonight. You want to say hi to your fans?
Oh, yeah. I want to say hi to my beautiful wife, April. Honey, I'll be home in, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Perfect timing. Thank you.
Some say he's a cult of personality. I dig him. How about Alicia Baumgardner in the building? One of the best fighters in the world. Dax Shepard, we see you. All the celebrities out here at Intuit Dome. I know her. Janae Agumake, Nigeria, in the building as well. WNBA analyst and superstar Carmen Electra. We see you, girl. You know, it's a Titanic event, so obviously James Cameron is in the building. A celebrity row is absolutely stacked. David Spade, we see you. I'm sure he's doing or thinking something quite funny and entertaining everyone around him. How about Tommy Lee? Rock and roll as they come. And finally, from the White House that you can see on Netflix, it's Michael Irvin. The Hall of Famer is in the building to witness history. We've had 4 incredible fights. We've got 1 more left to go as Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey are mere minutes away from joining us here in the cage. Again, you can see Michael Irvin on the White House, one of the many incredible podcasts on Netflix. Well, friends, it is time to go back and check in on the betting side for our main event with the tale of the bet, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. And here to break it down is a man with very many talents, DraftKings MMA analyst Kenny Florian.
Thanks, Sal. Let's do this again. All right, as a reminder, there are only 3 ways a fight can end: by decision, by submission, or a knockout. And DraftKings has priced each of these outcomes separately, so you can take a shot at picking not only who wins the fight, but how the fight ends. So for this main event, it's crazy. Obviously, Gina Carano has been away from the game for 17 years. So I understand the odds here. That is difficult for any athlete to deal with, being away for 17 years. So how do you approach this fight? Ronda Rousey, obviously the clear favorite. How do you bring those odds down a little bit? Well, I think picking Ronda Rousey by submission, obviously it's like death, taxes, and Ronda Rousey by armbar. That's almost a guarantee. So
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here from Kenny Florian, DraftKings Sportsbook, the official betting partner of Rousey versus Carano right here on Netflix. And a reminder that right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5, get $100 in bonus bets instantly. It's very easy. Pull out your phone, download the app, use promo code RING when you sign up. And a friendly reminder to all of you at home that DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Netflix is shining the spotlight on MMA, and they are not holding back. A stacked card, big names, moments you won't stop talking about. And DraftKings is your home for all the action. Bet the winner, the method of victory, or even which round it all goes down. When the fight takes over Netflix, don't just watch it, be part of it with DraftKings. And right now, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the app and use the promo code when you sign up.
Credit One Bank presents Max Out. He's a credit wrecker. His eyes are bigger than his wallet. And his credit score pays the price. You see, Max doesn't know he should only use 30% or less of his credit limit, because using his full line can lower his score. Don't be like Max Out. Instead, learn how to avoid the wreckers at creditwreckers.com. Credit One Bank, for what's ahead.
I want to give you the fight you've all been waiting for. I want you, Anthony Joshua, to fight me.
With all due respect, I'm the landlord. You work for me.
Let's dance.
The universe shall quake in my shadow.
This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it. I need every man, woman, or whatever that is.
You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it.
I know how to use it.
Masters of the Universe, only in theaters June 5th.
We are back live on Netflix and across 190 countries as we get ready for our main event. A fight that has lived in what if lore is about to happen. What did Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey have in store after all these years? Well, we're about to find out as we head back cage side one more time with Mauro Ranallo.
Thank you very much, El. Yeah, before women's MMA became big business, Gina Carano made people believe, but then came Ronda Rousey, a force that changed combat sports forever. But history rarely asks pioneers how much carrying history hurts. Tonight, Rousey and Carano return not to prove who they were, but discover who they still are.
Two superstars here. Rousey has a completely revamped camp here. And look at that submission and knockout ratio. All 12 of her wins by finish. Of course, Ronda Rousey very famous for that armbar.
This is about money. No. Is this fight about fame? No. This is about the fight. It's about the respect. It's about closing out something that's always been lingering in the back of my head. Could I do that again? I feel like Ronda's been chasing me for a long time, and I want her to know what she's been chasing. Every time I think about this fight, I am whooping the shit out of her in my head.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. It is now time for the main event of the evening. 5 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Welcome back, Gina Carano!
Incredibly, it has been 17 years since Gina Carano competed. She was part of the first female fight ever aired on major broadcast television when she defeated Julie Kedzie on Showtime in February 2007. Then in August 2009, she made history again in the first women's MMA fight to headline a major card, losing to Chris Cyborg in her last MMA bout until tonight, where she yet again makes history in the main event of the first MMA card live on Netflix.
Well, there's no question that she was the one who laid the foundation for the superstardom of Ronda Rousey. She was an amazing fighter back in the day, not only in MMA, but in Muay Thai as well. Gotta watch out for her striking.
Carano, her coach John Wood at Syndicate MMA says that Carano still naturally wants to engage aggressively in every phase, so the focus in camp has been channeling that aggression more efficiently. After years away from fighting, pain, and emotional exhaustion, Carano says she rebuilt both body and mindset, returning alongside her husband, Kevin Ross, who introduced her to Muay Thai. In less than 2 years, she lost 100 pounds, reclaiming her health and her identity. And tonight, Gina Carano returns to the cage.
To the Olympic bronze medalist, to the former UFC women's bantamweight champion, to the former WWE champion, to the one and only Rowdy Ronda Rousey!
This is not just the biggest women's fight of all time. This is the biggest MMA fight of all time on the biggest platform. It will be headlined by two women who dare to dream big. Bet your fucking ass this is the biggest MMA fight of all time, bar none. I'm not chasing greatness. Motherfucker, I am greatness. These bitches are chasing me.
And now, fighting out of the blue corner, making her way to the cage, welcome home, Ronda Rousey!
To the familiar sounds of Joan Jett's bad reputation, Ronda Rousey stalks her way to the cage. It was Gina Carano who inspired Rousey to pursue MMA. Rousey says this comeback is no longer built on raw force alone, but on precision, patience, and a deeper fight IQ. An evolved version of herself reconnecting with who she is as a martial artist. Rousey says this return is rooted in joy, healing, and finally fighting for reasons that come entirely from within rather than outside pressure. She says that for the first time in her career, her happiness was not entirely dependent on the results.
Yeah, and when Ronda was in her prime, she wasn't fighting, she was performing art. She was that good. For me, the sign of a master is when they're dominating and making it look easy. And make no mistake about it, when Ronda was in her prime, she was making it look easy.
The final Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Champion and the fighter who changed UFC President Dana White's mind about allowing women inside the octagon. She became a global phenom, a crossover superstar. Both Rousey and Carano have transcended the sport of MMA. But tonight, it's not about fighting for anyone else except themselves. And by the way, when we asked Rousey whether she would break Carano's arm if Carano refused to tap, she said she would not hesitate to finish the submission, though she framed it casually and said she would also help her up afterward. With the main event introductions on this historic night, here once again is Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your final main event of the evening. 5 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division, live on Netflix, live from the Intuit Dome for the debut of MVP MMA and the debut of MMA on Netflix, brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Madarian's Most Valuable Promotions. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side: Michael Bell, Derek Cleary, and Felicia O. And our referee in charge when the bell rings is Big John McCarthy. So, for those of you watching around the world on Netflix, to those of you joining us here live in Los Angeles, are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with tan and red trim. She stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall. She weighed in at 141.4 pounds. Tonight, she re-enters the cage with a professional MMA record of 7 victories versus just 1 defeat with 1 submission and 3 knockouts. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, she was the first woman to headline a major MMA main event. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Trailblazer, the original face of women's MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, Gina Conviction Carano! And now her opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the all black. She stands 5 feet, 6 inches tall. She weighed in at 142 pounds even. Tonight, she re-enters the cage with a professional MMA record of 12 victories versus 2 defeats, with 9 submissions and 3 knockouts, with 8 wins coming in less than 1 minute. Fighting out of Venice, California. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Olympic bronze medalist, the UFC Hall of Famer, the former UFC champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the record breaker, the icon, Rowdy Ronda Rousey!
The rules in the back. I want to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. God bless both of you. Step back.
Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, about to make history again here tonight, live in the first MMA event on Netflix. Both of them looking to rewrite their combat sports coda.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
The first of a scheduled 5 rounds at 145 pounds. Immediately, Rousey takes Carano down, but Carano looking for the guillotine. And Rousey pops her head out in full mount, ground and pound. Rousey looking for the arm, and already the arm, it's over. Mamma mia, it is just incredible. The most devastating finish in MMA history. And Ronda Rousey just took another arm hostage, and just like that, it's over.
One of the most explosive grapplers I've ever seen fight. I mean, that's how good she is. She can end it in an instant.
Rousey was raised in the language of combat. Her mother, Anne Maria, the first American world champion in judo, an emotional Rousey and Carano embracing, but her mom literally would wake Rousey up every morning as a child by putting her in an armbar. Is it any surprise that it's become the most feared submission in MMA history?
No question about it. One of the most